right, hey everybody. We decided to start a little bit early this morning and get some tastiness going on here. I start with the yeah. Well, this was on special at Vern's, so
that's probably where she grabbed it then.
Kansas Territory Locomotion Stout. So
we'll find out how that
give it
goes.
a shot and see what happens. So we'll give a few minutes for people to kind of filter in here, like always. If you're what's up? Hey, Cassie. Charwall. So if you're watching this after the fact, I wanted to do something like this out in the shop, but I figured instead of me, again, just rambling back and forth, that we could talk back and forth and talk about a few different things. And
pretty good.
No sour. I do have a sour, but I'm not going to make Jonathan suffer through that. So
thanks, Brent. You know what? I could drink anything, but those are just rough.
Good morning, Robert and Brent.
It's not bad, actually. Good morning, everybody.
Yep, I like it.
Hope everybody had a good weekend. So, I'm sorry, I was over here pouring the beers. Did you talk about the topic and everything already today?
No, so we're going to talk through. I'm not necessarily going to ignore the chat if there's something that comes through that's pertinent or that's.
Well, hello.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'll kind of keep an eye on it. If there's an important question, we can kind of.
Yeah, if there's an important question or something that's pertinent or whatever else, we'll stop and check on it. But this was something I wanted to do yesterday that I didn't really get around to doing. And I thought it was kind of important to talk about. And as you can see on the thumbnail, Verity won her first title yesterday.
Did see that.
And seeing as how she's been one that's done it kind of the right way all the way up to this point and eventually got the payoff. And it's one of those things where it seems like it takes a while, but in the grand scheme of things, getting to the point where you're winning something at a professional level is just not even close to easy.
Sometimes too, once you finally get that win, it can open the doors for more too. So I still think it's crazy she had won before. I thought she had a couple already.
She has a couple second place finishes, but hadn't been able to break through and get it done yet. And yesterday it just
shocks me.
She rolled over everybody. There wasn't any point where it was even close. I mean, the second game, I think Shannon.
I'm disappointed in your Facebook post that you didn't put #promotion.
No, yeah. Well, I'm not going to
say me. I didn't post anything this morning, did I? If I did, I didn't know it.
He did it like 2 minutes after.
Yeah, I'm not going to be that annoying. I'm going to be really, really annoying to James for a while.
She went with the promotion?
Huh?
She went with the promotion?
Yeah.
Of course she did.
She used it and she used it most of the weekend. She used it most of the telecast. This is also after James just drilled one freshly.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, where has this been in my life? I need more.
Right. So now he's in stash mode.
Yeah. So it was just kind of perfect to be able to put that roast on him a little bit. So
I don't think he's here with us yet this morning.
No, he had something going on. Probably bowling into their tournament or something.
Yeah, probably.
So anyhow, and she's been kind of the perfect example of, working hard, and then you get into college, and then I'm not sure if she's
Where
still.
Did she go to college?
It was
down in Florida, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's the school where they're at the Kegel Training Center, isn't it?
Yeah, it's slipping my mind at the moment. I just had it. Well, somebody in the chat.
Where did Verity go to college?
I'm a super fan. I should know this. There's a difference between
Weber.
That's right.
There it is.
Weber International.
We don't need it in the chat anymore.
I kept thinking Wisconsin Whitewater, but that's.
Games.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, things have changed.
So we're.
New stuff has come to light. So anyhow, first of all, there's a couple things I wanted to get started with. Is there's no such thing as a stupid question. And if you ask me a question and I seem like I'm kind of frustrated or agitated or irritated, I'm not irritated at you or the question itself. I'm irritated at the culture or the rumors or the prevailing attitude that prompted the question in the first place. Because there's so much misinformation out there. There's so much back and forth. There's so much, oh, well, I don't like hybrids. So, if I would recommend somebody, I don't like hybrids. It's like, well, that has nothing to do with anything.
No.
But, and sometimes I've responded in kind of a frustrated tone, and tone is, as I've established with several people I've talked to recently at the company, tone sucks in an email. So tone just generally sucks in text, and I don't want people to stop asking me questions, and I need to remember to be a little bit more patient sometimes, but I'm impatient with the prevailing attitude of, Forge Flare is a solid, correct?
Yep.
Venom Shock is also a solid.
Correct.
What exactly do those two have in common?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. So.
Don't even look alike. No.
Yep. I was chatting in the Discord, and I said I use a 15-pound strike ball and a 14-pound spare ball because I'll get a little deflection for the baby split. Folks in Discord recommended a 15-pound spare. Thoughts? It's always better to go with the same weights because muscle memory is more important than deflection. If you can make an accurate shot, and this is actually something that I want to talk about a little bit later. Morning, Robert. That does segue into a topic about my little mini meltdown on Thursday night.
Yeah.
What? Mini?
I didn't get like crazy pissed. It just every single shot I came back and told Jonathan I was too stupid to do this. Every single shot.
I heard that.
I was having a bad night.
6 lanes over.
Every single time.
Yes. I nearly slammed my ball down and walked my butt over.
At one time, I wanted to look at him and say, "What do I say to that?"
Yeah.
What am I supposed to say?
Yeah. Yeah, I knew that.
You are, so sit down and shut up.
I knew he wasn't going to have. Knew he wasn't going to have much for me on that one. I was just being a crybaby because I was mad. But so there are no such thing as stupid questions. It's just irritating to have the prevailing attitudes and thoughts that come with it. I had another point to make that I can't remember right now, but I'll remember it.
It'll track back to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would highly suggest staying with same weight.
Yep. So we're going to get into some of the tech stuff and try to straighten some things out and try to get you in the right mental mindset to learn the right things instead of chasing nonsense. Basically, you need to really pay attention to everything that's going on with your ball roll, with even other people's ball roll on the, especially on the right side. You can keep track of what's going on and keep yourself out of trouble by watching what everybody else's ball reaction is doing too.
Yep.
Too many people, I think, also just kind of look at how sharp or how smooth the ball is down lane and don't pay attention to any of the rest of it. And I don't know how many times people, throw a ball that lame ducks all the way down there and kind of backs up into the pocket and leaves a flat. Oh, I hit the ball. Where's the carry? I hit the pocket. It's like, well, that has nothing to do with anything.
Understand? We got to learn ball motion, everything else.
Yeah. So we're going to start, and instead of
frustrates me more than anything.
Yeah.
People that hit the pocket, oh, don't carry anything.
Yeah.
Hit the pocket all day. Sorry, but that drives me insane. Like, obviously, there's a reason they're not balling. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so that's probably point number one, is that there's a reason that everything happens, and if you just get frustrated and write it off, I know that everybody gets frustrated and gets upset at things, and you just want to vent. You're not really, because most of the time, if you leave something on the back row, like you did at Belton repeatedly, there was a reason for it, but it's one of those that's kind of like, yeah, I know it wasn't perfect, but it could have gone, it should have gone, why can't I? And you were throwing sharp stuff, you were throwing smooth stuff, You got your pin down affliction, and it was still leaving 9 pins. And it's one of those things. It's like, what do I got to do? I have, and that's the thing is,
there was a couple 9 pins that were just that hurt.
Yeah,
like they were just.
You checked off several boxes. You tried several shapes, several angles, and you were still leaving the same pin. And at that point, it's kind of like,
I just boil it down to twisters at this point.
Yeah, twisters are wonderful. I don't want to.
I mean, that's literally the only thing I can boil it down to. Is I can't tell you on wood that I leave that much or that many 8 or 9 pins. I don't know. It's just, and I did have like 2 or 3 8s in there too. It made it even better.
Yeah.
The first game I buried an 8 that was just brutal.
Twister pin. I don't want to hear it from you either, Brent.
Yeah.
I'm talking about my twister pins. What's a good rule of thumb for removing the oil from a ball? A Jayhawk detox. That's the best way to do it by a long shot. I throw my spare ball in, and some shops may not have it. Yeah. I don't like the heat method because it gets the ball too hot for too long, and then you start bleeding plasticizers out of the ball instead of oil too, and then it makes it brittle. And
so I have a question for you. Is Jayhawk kind of more of a popular brand around here? Like, because I know Innovative is also really popular, like on the East.
Jayhawk has sent a bunch of stuff overseas too. So
good.
So they've got stuff kind of worldwide. So Jayhawk's a pretty big name in the
because I knew Innovative
industry.
Also does like a pro shop class like they do and things like that. So I was just curious. So.
Throw my spare ball end over end every time, but no one else in my league's doing that works for me. Would you say it's better to throw it like my strike? No, just
hard and straight.
Yeah, hard and straight. So whatever. If you watch Wesley Lowe, it's really interesting because he throws a spare ball, but he just absolutely dead hands it at the bottom. The ball might rotate 2 or 3 times on the way down the lane. I don't know how he does that. It's insane.
Give him the high heater, Ricky.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to do it. Thoughts
on the Zen. I got a video for that. So
yep, check it out. Sorry,
but we'll skip over that for right now.
We talk about too, like a good practice regime too, something like that. That's part of all this.
Yeah, we'll tackle that here a little bit further down the line. So we're going to start with some of the basics of the basics. We're going to talk about a little bit of, we're going to kind of skim through a lot of this pretty quickly. Something with the, that's come up with the dark code is that everybody sees a black shiny code and everybody's thinking code black. They're not paying any attention to the cover stock formula, which is way, I mean, it has, no, the dark code is strong.
It looks strong.
I mean, it's really, really strong, but a lot of people are not paying attention to, and that kind of falls in with it's a little bit higher up there in terms of knowledge and information and whatever else, but it's kind of like somebody looking at something and going solid pearl hybrid and just thinking, oh, well, I like pearls or I like hybrids or I don't like solids or whatever else. Well, that has nothing to do with anything, again, because of the differences in the cover stock formulas. Storm's got a chart out that ranks kind of the cores by strength and the cover stocks by strength. Cores are
Is that on their webpage?
No, I don't think so. They have it somewhere, but most of the time they put out the charts, and the charts just kind of filter around from person to person.
I was going to say, does it kind of filter in, showing the strongest to the?
Yeah,
kind of like the motive ball guide, so to speak.
Yeah. It just instead of showing the actual ball in terms of strength, it just ranks the covers and the cores. Cores are easier to understand because of the RG, the number values.
Yeah.
Basically, the lower the RG is, the earlier the ball wants to roll, the stronger it's going to roll, and the higher the differential is, the more it's going to flare, which exposes.
Oh, that's cool. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, a really cool car outside the window here.
The more differential a ball has, the more it's going to.
I want to LOL.
No. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so the higher the differential is, the more the ball is going to flare, which the more fresh cover is going to be exposed to the lane on every rotation. And then when you have something that's asymmetric, it's kind of like a secondary. It's a secondary or extra amount of strength coming from, because symmetric balls aren't symmetric vertically, they're symmetric horizontally. So it's kind of like again the can there. the can. So I mean, if you turn the can, you know, any which way you want to turn the can, which is like a symmetric core, it's going to be the same dimensions all the way around. But with something that's asymmetric, or you know, a lot of cores, if you turn them, you know, upside down or side to side, they're not symmetric from top to bottom, but they're going to be symmetric from, you know, side to side. Asymmetry is adding in. Oh my gosh, Mista, you get him? I know.
Alert.
Yep. We got the pupper on high alert.
The neighbors are out when I was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. I know. Good dog.
Come here. Come and see me.
You're a viciousness. Anyway.
I didn't see that. Nope. Over there. Sorry.
So something is symmetric horizontally, basically. Something that's asymmetric is asymmetric both vertically and horizontally. So it adds in extra torque, extra strength, and so the higher intermediate differential you get, I basically treat it like a secondary pin position.
Right. When
you're laying something out, it's not quite as strong, but it does the difference between, you know, my idle synergy, for example, and the UFO Alert that has the same cover on it. The UFO Alert, I didn't know that. Yeah, the UFO Alert's quite a bit stronger than the Synergy is. It's a little bit earlier. It's a little bit stronger. I think the Synergy is a little quicker
and better looking.
But yeah,
sorry, no offense.
Yeah,
I think that UFO Alert is gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
So something.
It's
so
got the emerald green in it. Sorry.
Something that's going to help you out with understanding core dynamics, and because there's a lot of people that will think, okay, well. Because there was somebody that asked me about the difference between the code red and the dark code, and they said, well, it's, you know, it's just a Pearl versus a hybrid, and it's got the same core, so how different is it really going to be? I'm like, well, cover formulas are crazy different.
Oh yeah.
One's R2S, on the code red, it's R2S hybrid, and the new REX cover feels to me like a whole bunch of NEX, which is the strongest cover that they make right now.
Is that a brand new cover that they put in just that ball?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for the dark code, so it's got it, but it's a blend of two existing covers. So it's a blend of the R2S, so it has R2S in it, but I think it's got a heavy helping of NEX. I think it's mostly NEX with a little bit of R2S added in.
Yeah.
Because it's so freaking strong.
I didn't think that I had heard of that cover before, so I was just curious. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not to get us off topic here.
So NEX is the strongest cover that they make. And then Traction X7's right underneath that, and then REX is right under Traction X7. So
you want it or not?
Yeah, just show it. Click the middle button. The middle, the clear.
I got it. Already did. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, the little middle button here wakes it up.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, which is weird.
Keeps the battery.
Yeah, saves the batteries. So, again, the code red is, and to somebody that doesn't, again, cores are really easy to see. So a difference between like a Proton Physics and a Hybrid Max, they have the same cover.
Right.
Cores are wildly different, but you can see that based on the numbers. And so once you understand core numbers, you can see the difference. Or, you know, Motive's done this a couple times where you'll have different covers on the same core, or different cores, or the same core with different.
We do that a lot.
Well, and most people do, because Motive used to have the thing where it's like, well, we want a different cover stock formula on everything, but then there's no familiarity. It's kind of like, okay, well, I don't really know what to expect with this new ball. So there's a nice blending between familiarity and still giving somebody.
Yeah, we do that a lot. It's like they play with different combos quite a bit, and they finally find something that just, oh, this is cool. Let's do with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
so where you know, different cores are concerned with the same cover, it's a whole lot easier for people to see and understand. Yeah. So once again, I'll direct everybody to the Storm Pin Buffer Layout Trilogy that will explain everything that you ever wanted to know about core dynamics.
I was going to say, if I remember right, that is pretty good about explaining the numbers and really helping you really understand what.
And Clocken and Brett and Chad did something with RG and.
Yeah,
because you can really geek out on the numbers.
Something,
I mean, you can really do it.
The Pin Buffer Layout System Trilogy explains core numbers, it explains layouts, it explains the effect of layouts on the core numbers, which is almost a bigger almost has a bigger effect on ball motion than the orientation the core is rolling. But you can pair these two things together of changing layout.
The website on each ball, they have a layout. Like if you scroll down, does that do anything or no?
I've never really played with it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a PDF you open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've never looked at it.
I've never seen it.
So,
But it doesn't mean something.
yeah. But anyway, so if you want to understand layouts and core dynamics, the Storm Pin Buffer Layout System Trilogy is going to help you understand everything that you need to know about that. When it comes to cover stock formulas, that's more difficult because most people generally tend to look at things as solid, hybrid, and pearl. And
Yes.
so
They don't really pay attention to the numbers. They just see solid hybrid.
Yeah, and so they don't
Yeah.
really pay attention to the formula because a lot of the time formulas from a lot of companies are kind of ambiguous. It's like, well, they give it some jazzy name,
Yeah.
but there's nothing to really accompany it or go along with it that explains
Right.
anything further beyond that. You know, they have marketing for cores too. They call it, you know, they give this core name and that core name, but there's numbers that come along with it
Yeah.
to tell you exactly what's going on with that core.
So I'd assume that Storm or Rotogrip, they do the same thing where they kind of do. They'll put the same cover on a different core from something else.
Yeah.
They do. I mean, they kind of have to.
No, they do it a lot. R2S has been on everything for. I was on the Emerald, the IQ Tour Solid, the IQ Tour Fusion.
I mean, if you find a good combo,
the High Road
It's gotta go
Pearl, the
I
Astrophysics.
love it.
What, the Emerald? Is that which one?
R2S period, doesn't matter what version.
I don't remember which R2S
No,
I3.
yeah,
You had an Emerald, that's for sure.
Oh, I did like that one.
I'm completely okay with handicap. That's
Those are the only two I know of.
Is it the Intense R2S?
R3S.
Oh.
And so they have reactor. They have several different generations of reactor, and they have several different generations of the original Radcore that came out
I
in
just
the
saw
X.
his watch picture. I can't
Yeah.
live with it right now.
Oh,
No,
Well,
it wasn't that one. It was your high school senior picture.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
Okay, so for an analogy, would you put like solid hybrid pearl, like Dodge Chevy Ford type thing, that it's a group and it doesn't say enough, or is that too big?
No, it's too big.
Are you saying American made?
Yeah.
That's the three main ones that get controversy
Yeah.
for stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
But I didn't. I don't think I've ever really looked at their deal that you were talking about, Luke, where it goes in depth in the numbers. That's
Yeah.
actually pretty cool.
And so that,
Yeah.
no matter which company you're on with, it's good. It's good information.
Yeah,
And,
100%.
you know, it teaches you a lot about what's going on. There's a
If you're interested in geeking out in the numbers like that too.
Mo Pinnell's dual angle wiki. You can just search dual angle wiki, and that explains a bunch of stuff too.
Oh yeah, that actually is.
So
pretty
that
cool.
one,
Yeah.
that was a really
Yeah.
good resource to have before Storm made the videos. But with Storm making the videos, it shows you a bunch of extra things. It takes the idea and it really expands on it. It shows you on lane ball reaction comparisons. It shows you graphics. There's 3D models. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So
We're jumping into the deep. I have no idea what this is. I'm not sure if anybody's ever had it. It's just a random beer. It's actually focusing really good right
Deep Ellum IPA.
So that's what we're going to move into. No, it's not a sour.
Yeah. But cover stock formulas are a whole lot tougher because you kind of have to know, or you kind of have to have a lot of experience,
Yeah.
or you need to find this chart and go through it so that you can understand that different formulas, or the effect that different formulas of cover stock have on ball reaction. For example, the Omega Crux is a pearl. The High Road Pearl is also a pearl, and those two have absolutely way beyond nothing in common, because the Omega Crux is very strong and very early, very smooth. The High Road Pearl goes 70 feet and then turns around and comes back and then turns sideways.
Here you are, sir.
So,
Oh, there you go, Angel.
Mhm.
Posted that in there. Storm pin buffer. Yeah, pin buffer.
yeah, the bin buffer.
It says IPA, aka gross. It could be an IPA sour, I guess. Gross, even more.
So, knowing kind of the information and the tech behind your equipment is pretty important, because there's a lot of different nuances that go into bowling. The other point that I now remember that I was going to make is that bowling is not mathematical. Bowling is not done on paper.
True. Yep.
But some people, when they're either trying to understand it or because they can't understand it, they try to quantify it, or they try to establish constants and say, okay, well, this is this and this is this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it goes along with the solid hybrid pearl. Okay, well, this is a hybrid, so it's naturally going to do this. And this is a pearl, so it's going to do this. And it's like, well,
No, not necessarily.
no, not necessarily.
Because I mean, you got to think of what the covers are, like you're saying. What's the cover? What's the core?
Yeah. Again, the core is pretty easy, and if you don't understand those numbers, that's probably the easiest place to start is with the core.
I'm sure you can pick a storm ball that's like this, but take just on our side, take a Venom Shock, an older Venom Shock versus a newer Venom Shock. It's the same ball, but one hook's just way more than the other. Like the new shocks are just stupid.
Yeah, and a lot of that can have to do with, and so yeah, even within the same formula.
Yeah.
If something's been out for a while, the manufacturing processes change a little bit, or they have new manufacturing lines.
Yep.
That's a big problem that they had with the purple hammers that Brunswick's dealing with right now, is trying to recreate it in a different environment with different equipment and whatever else is just virtually impossible.
Yeah, because the other ones were made in the U.S., right?
Yeah,
now they're in Mexico. So get the sticker on. The sticker. What is it?
Yeah, full roller is a different kind of, it's almost like being a lefty. You're kind of trapped, stuck in your own little world, and
because that's rolling over the thumb hole, correct?
It's rolling between the fingers and the thumb hole. So your track actually goes in between. So you have to drill the ball kind of upside down so that it flares backwards.
So is there a lot of layouts that you can do with full roller layouts? Or is it kind of just?
No, not really. You kind of, like I said, you kind of have to drill it upside down so that instead of the ball track migration normally kind of goes away from the finger holes.
Yeah.
Well, if it starts here and it starts going away from the fingers, well, it's going to start thumping over the thumb. And so if you drill a full roller layout, then the flare goes that way. And so it never rolls over.
Being a full roller, you really can't do much.
You really can't do a whole lot, and that's
Tom Smallwood. So he pretty much puts the same layout on everything.
Yeah, they have a few trick layouts for him, but at the same time, you've got to generally have it's a similar idea, and then you use the balls themselves for the differences, and that's actually what a lot of people do anyway. Is that I only have a couple layouts I use.
Right.
I put pretty much the same layout on everything, because I want the different. There's no point in, taking one ball and then, putting a certain layout on it and then drilling a different ball with a layout to compensate or offset it that puts them closer together.
Right.
So there was, when I was in a pro shop, there's all kinds of people that, hey, still dog, I know.
Hey.
There's all kinds of people that would come in and, come here, Mistel, come here. There's all kinds of people that would say, okay, well, I need a stronger ball, I need a weaker ball, or whatever else, and then they want to drill it. Well, if they get a stronger ball, it's like, well, can we put a little bit weaker layout on it because I don't want it to be too strong? And it's like, well, all you're doing is you're wanting differences, but you're crowding everything together to make sure that you can use everything on your league shot, which doesn't make any sense. And then, or people would be unhappy with something. Well, it didn't quite hook enough for. It's like, well, are you trying to? He's like, well, I use it in practice, and it just doesn't really. Well, you're not supposed to be using it in practice. The whole idea of having a weaker ball is so that you use that later in the set when everything's dried up.
Yep.
It's like, it's like you just, you played in the golf thing yesterday. You have different golf clubs specifically for certain spots on the golf course, and if you use a 100% swing on a 5-iron. There's no reason to instead, take a 75% swing with a 4-iron or a 80% swing with a 4-iron instead of just using the correct club. Now, there's sometimes you need to take a certain club, like if you're lofting over something, if you need to shape it a different way.
I think it's got a little.
Yeah. Like if you don't have a whole lot of distance to cover, say that you're under a tree 50 yards
Something
out.
like a 60-degree wedge.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're under a tree and you have to keep the ball low, well, then you're going to take a slower swing with a bigger club because of the shape difference. But if you're in wide open territory, and you can take a 100% swing at something, use the correct
Yeah,
club.
something like a hybrid would keep it low. So
Yeah.
and it's all about where the face is. So
yeah, if you drill an X ball to make it like a Y ball, just get a Y ball. And that's the thing, is a lot of people, well, I want this ball, but I want it to act like,
is it
I
because
want
a
it to
lot of
act
people
like
just
this.
want to have the ball because of the name?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
I want a desert tank, but I want it drilled to skid snap.
Thank you. One person comes to mind when you say that. So.
Yes, I want a stronger ball. Can you drill a 5.5-inch pin and shine it?
I want a desert tank to go skid snap.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That doesn't make any sense.
No.
So core numbers are easy to understand.
Yeah.
Layouts are fairly easy to understand once you wrap your head around the concept.
Right.
Back to the mathematical thing really quickly, is some people try to lock it down. Certain things can't be locked down. Solid, hybrid, and pearl really only matter within the same formula.
Mm-hmm.
So on the storm stuff, like if it's R2S, pearl, hybrid, solid, the pearl is going to be the longest and the flippiest. You can look at stuff like this on the high roads, or something that's got the same core. The high road pearl is going to be the longest and the sharpest. The high road is going to be in the middle. It's not going to be as early and smooth as the solid. It's not going to be as long and flippy as the hybrid, or as long and flippy as the pearl. And then the high road solid was just not good, but it was the earliest and the strongest of the three of them. That's when you can actually pay attention. But comparing one pearl of a pearl of one formula to pearl of another formula may not have anything to do with anything. Like the original phase that I've got was a pearl. It acted like a slow polished solid. So if you took an axiom solid, for example, that cover formula is strong, but it's also sharper than the formula that was on the phase. So if I take an axiom and I shine it up, that's a solid, it's going to be flippier or sharper than my phase, which is a polished pearl, because the different formulas, and that's something that's harder to understand. The stronger the formula is, the earlier and smoother it's naturally going to want to be. So in the case of the dark code, when people are seeing white, okay, well, it's a code black replacement. No, it's not. It's smoother than the code black, because the code black was R2S pearl. This is REX pearl.
Stronger
and on
too,
the,
right?
and on the storm cover stock chart, NEX is at the top, Traction X7, and then REX. So that's telling me and then R2S is way down. There's so many stronger cover stocks that have come out, but R2S is in like the bottom third on the cover stock strength. So yeah, like the high road, the cover that's on that is in the bottom third of cover stock strengths, because we have all these GI, ERG, what's
the cover on that again?
R2S or R2S hybrid.
Okay.
On the high road.
Okay.
And so what they did is they took their strongest cover stock and mixed it with a cover stock in the bottom third of their strengths, but they ended up with a cover stock that's the third strongest cover that they currently make. So that's telling me, aside from just throwing the ball, that it's mostly NEX with just a little bit of R2S in there to add some friction response.
Yeah.
So looking at it and saying, oh, it's a dark shiny code, so it's a code black replacement. It's not. It's a lot stronger than the code black. A lot stronger.
It looks really strong, just from everybody I've seen through it.
Yeah. So understanding the different formulas is a lot tougher. But again, when you actually pay attention, this is something you have to do. You have to pay attention to everything instead of just, taking something as gospel.
Right.
And even taking anything that I say as gospel, because everybody learns things or understands things a different way or through a different lens. And so we might actually be seeing the same thing, but we think about it and describe it totally different ways.
You're 100% correct there.
So one of the more important things is you can't make anything mathematical. You can't say, okay, well, and people ask me, what layout should I put on this? It's like, well, there's too many variables. I don't know what layout, I don't know what you're after. I don't know what conditions you bowl on. I don't know what kind of lane surface you bowl on, because going to Kansas City, we have a plethora of different things. And I take different equipment to different centers, regardless of what the pattern is. So you have to understand a bunch of these different things, and that a lot of it comes with experience. A lot of it comes with experience. So I can sit here, well, you have to understand this stuff. It's like, well, help me understand it. It's like, well, experience is the biggest teacher in bowling, especially because there's so many variables, there's so many things that are all over the place. You have to understand not only what goes on with all this different stuff, but then you have to understand how you handle it.
Correct. Yeah.
Or how you handle certain situations. So it's not as simple as, oh, okay, well, I have this lane pattern. What equipment should I take? I have no idea.
Yeah.
Well, I have this ball. What layout should I use? I have no idea.
What lane surface? Where are you going?
Yeah. And that's most of the time my first question is like, okay, well, what pattern is this? But what center are we bowling at in Kansas City? Because that makes the lane condition is greatly secondary.
Oh yeah.
Are we bowling in Belton or are we bowling at Summit?
Big difference.
I mean, because or are we bowling at Olathe?
You couldn't have picked two biggest differences.
Yeah, I know. Are we bowling at Belton or are we bowling at Summit? This is critical. I don't care about the pattern. Just tell me where we're bowling first, and then we'll talk about the pattern.
One
later.
surface that just hooks at your feet, and then you got another one.
You cannot make it mathematical, even when it comes to something like cores that are mathematical, because you can put the same, if you have a different formula, so say high road Pearl versus high road Max, very, very different balls. Similar idea, but they use different things to offset different things. So if you need a stronger cover on a heavier volume stuff where you have to move in or something like that, but it's a more beat up lane server, then is the perfect example is Brad throwing. We went to Ward Parkway one time and we were on some.
It was the Earl Anthony pattern that was not laid down properly. And he was throwing the axiom. Is that what you're talking about?
No, he was throwing the all road on something that was like 45 feet long or 44 feet long and 27 or 28 mils or something like that.
It was Earl Anthony. They just didn't lay it down right.
And he's throwing an all road, but he's throwing an all road because
he was just fluffing it up the middle.
Ward Parkway, but he was playing fourth arrow on a 44, 45 foot long, 27, 28 mil pattern. But it's because the lane surface was that dirty that you had to use weaker cores with a stronger cover because he still needed the traction.
Right.
If he's using a weaker cover, then it's gonna be more sensitive to the oil and more sensitive to the dry. So he still needed the cover strength.
If I remember,
but he didn't need a core helping to wind the ball up so quick.
He was in there just by himself all day long.
Yeah.
I remember right. I don't think anybody else had that look.
Again, it doesn't make any sense on paper.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that a lot of this is confusing, that we're talking all back and forth and this, but it is confusing. And so if you are confused, don't worry about it. It's a lot of it is experience. You can learn about how all these things kind of go together, but then you continue to learn about how they, the bigger picture, and then there's a bigger picture from that, and then there's an even bigger picture, and the rabbit hole's as deep as you want to go.
I brought 5 balls to a PBA regional. This is the kind of bowler I am. I'm sorry.
That's pretty good.
That was funny.
Yeah.
All right. Carry on. Angel, I don't know if you're still watching. There's actually a good question for you in here a little bit ago.
Yeah, there's a good question there. As a full roller, it's nice to have a spinner so you can experiment with the different combos of friction and polishing. That's perfect because you have to experiment. You can't just, again, this is the perfect comment to talk about bowling is not mathematical.
Yep.
And I did a surface video a couple months ago too, where you can, if you have a fresh 2000 pad that you use by hand, you're going to get a different surface than if you're using water on a spinner.
Yep, 100%.
Big difference. Even though, well, I'm using a 2000 pad. Well, that's great, but you have to understand where that's going to get you.
You're also doing it like this, and then you're also, it's spinning, and it's just going to give you a longer lasting.
Yeah. It's
reaction's going to be different too.
Yeah. If you do it by hand, it's going to be chalkier to start off with, but it's not going to last as long because you're not going to get it as deep.
You probably be a game in, and it'll probably shine up right. If that. It just depends on how much you hit it with.
So don't be afraid to experiment. Like you said, even if you don't have a spinner, you can do that. They've got like an extension now for the end of a drill, so that you can put. It's got a sanding disc that you can put on the end of a drill.
And just hold the...
Yeah, you just hold the drill and you can just go back and forth over the ball. It's got a little cup.
That's actually great.
It's like having a portable spinner, really. So yeah, it's a fantastic idea.
We're not recommending going to a bowling center before you're getting ready to start a block of a tournament and just holding a... I can see somebody doing it.
You might have to. But do not fall in the trap of trying to make it too mathematical or trying to lock down constants, because you will never ever lock down anything. If you come into something with a game plan, that game plan has to be flexible. You can come in with a general idea of what you want to do, but you can't say, okay, well, last time I was here on this pattern,
Right.
I was using this ball, standing here, throwing it here, and whatever else. It's going to be different.
No, yeah, it's not going to be the same at all.
It's going to be different.
So that brings in topography, lane to lane, and everything else that goes along with it.
Yeah, lane surface, topography.
Yep.
When the lanes were oiled, there might be a new batch of oil. They might have a new lane machine. It might be summer versus winter versus whatever else. So you have to come in flexible.
That's another thing that people get confused about too, is the temperatures outside, the time of year. It makes a big difference. Well, it was hooking so much here before, now it's tight down lane. You hear that a lot, and it's like, well, walk outside. Is it 90 degrees or is it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Or is the lanes by the doors, the front doors? I mean, it's big difference. Topography, man.
So those are the kind of questions that kind of aggravate me, is what layout should I put on this ball? I can help you with ball selection, because if you're saying I have this ball and I have this ball and I want something in between them.
So I shouldn't ask you that again.
Yeah.
No, Jack slapped me.
Yeah, no, but I know I know what you're bowling on. I know your game. I know all these extra details. And so when you're asking about layout, I already have something in mind.
Yep, I get it. No, I'm just messing with you.
But yeah, to somebody else out there, it's say, well, what ball should I take for this condition? I have no idea. I have no idea what layout should I use. I have beyond no idea. But if you say I have a parallax effect, and then I have a high road pearl, what would you put in between those? Then I have that gives me a range, that gives me something with some constants to work from. So recommending a ball is super, super easy the vast majority of the time. And then it's up to you and your pro shop to figure out how you want to lay it out, what the final surface you want on it to be.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that are a little bit worried about, oh God, don't get me started on CTD either.
Oh
God.
I'll stay out of that.
Yeah, make it at home for a fraction of the cost. Exactly. With literally everything.
Purple stuff is so good. I've actually heard that the purple.
Yeah, React stuff's really good.
I will give CTD credit on one big thing, is their pads. Their True Cut pads are really good.
Yeah, well, the True Cut pads that somebody else makes that they borrowed and repurposed. I digress.
I mean, I'm not going to spend the money.
True Cut pads are better than Avalon, though. That's just straight up fact.
Turbo's not making any pads yet, are they?
No,
I didn't think so. Storm have any?
No, I think Jayhawk has some pads that they were talking to me about a couple of years ago, and I think that they have some pads. They're kind of expensive, but they're along the same lines as the True Cut stuff.
Then go to Genesis. Genesis has them. Shop at Genesis.
Yep, I agree completely. So
the ones at Genesis are actually cool though, because they're color coordinated. So each, like if it's 1,000, it's orange. If it's 2,000, it's green. So I'll tell a man to grab me the green pad.
Yeah. Yes. Temperature and humidity greatly affects how sticky the approaches are.
You would know, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I just stick all the time. But no, so there's a lot of things. And this is really interesting because Pete Weber did a test with Kegel one time that they have pistons and all kinds of stuff under a couple of their lanes at the Kegel Training Center where they can adjust topography back and forth, and they can see. They've done a lot of testing, I think, for USB. Yeah, for USB.
I didn't know that.
Well, they've done a bunch of testing for USB-C to show them how minor adjustment, how given the same lane conditions, how minor topography adjustments can affect it. And so there's a really cool video that they have with Pete Weber that they adjusted the topography a ridiculously small amount, and he went from striking to missing the head pin completely, and I think even taking the 3 off the right on a shot that was by Specto virtually identical.
Is that why the USB-C for the Masters and the US Open started providing all the players with topography
reports? Yep, because it's so important. Even if you're on the same, even if you're on the same lane surface, if you've got the topography and you understand, okay, well, this lane's tilted a little bit more this way, or this one's a little bit more bowed down, or this one's kind of concave, convex, whatever else. That's why you get the topography reports, and they have stuff available like that at South Point and for the bowler, for the National Bowling Stadium and places like that.
I wonder if they provide them to their league bowlers. Just leave it out So that
They
can
might.
hold it.
I don't know, but it's something that factors in huge.
How
And
cool
so,
would that be to have one for every center where each lane they just
Oh,
have it
yeah.
out there?
Yeah, they have a machine that maps the topography, and that's what Jerry and Jesse did when they took over Westridge to begin with, because they wanted to compare, what we were getting when we were just doing our basic measurements here and there. They wanted a baseline idea of what they were going to have to do, so they actually paid to have them bring the machine there and do the full 100% topography front to back.
I'd like to see what 7 and 8 looks like.
Go away, Alex. I didn't ask you for nothing.
I would like to see what 7 and 8 looks like.
Yeah, they're different, but they're not as different as you think.
There's no way.
Yeah.
That one lane is every time you bowl there, it doesn't matter the time of year. That lane is stupid tight.
Yeah, well, 8 is actually closer to the door than
true.
7.
Well, it's kind of like that pair we were hit a couple weeks ago at Royal Crest.
Yep.
The left lane
7.
is stupid tight, and the right lane hooks.
Yep.
Once again, topography, temperature makes a difference.
Mm-hmm. So that's the other thing, is that there's a lot of times that people will blame stuff on centers that they have no control over. Like if it's hot and muggy outside, the approaches are going to be sticky. And you can't go, oh, these approaches suck. Well, they might suck.
We had that with Aaron's a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they might suck, but you might be. We were also the low end of the house where they had a bunch of sunshine coming through. He was going to retint those windows, but there's so many different things that goes into this that you can't.
And the low end of the house hooks more. You get to the middle, they get tighter as you go right. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it also depends on, a lot of places have birthday parties, open play in certain ends of the house that are maybe closer to the desk or closer to a game room or something else, and all that different use affects how those lanes are going to play. It's just like in the lanes always get tighter in the winter.
You have to read that.
I tried to be a Boy Scout one year, but they had a waiting list, so I became a CTD staffer instead.
I'm sorry, amazing. That's fantastic. High five on that one. Yeah. That's a good comment.
High five.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That was not bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Then, that's another thing too, is you really start to learn the personal, but the traits of lane play and the bowling center itself. The more and more you bowl at a place.
Yeah.
Olathe, I'll still never figured out the actually suck.
Yeah.
Aaron's, I mean, we kind of have the idea, like we were saying, the lower end of the house hooks. The closer you started getting towards the doors, towards the high end, they're tighter. I don't know how it is on the left side.
The left side is just tight across the board on every. I don't have any. The low end hooks a little bit more, I think, but yeah, California ball.
And then you got a lunar, everything hooks.
Yeah.
Olathe is just a crap.
Everything hooks, and then everything stops hooking.
Here's the one thing about Olathe. So for those that are in here that may not have bowled in that place, Riley, you're gonna hate me. That place.
California bowling is swag, Lord Field.
Swag is PBA approved now. They paid
Lane Masters, Legends, whatever else.
But it's still on topic though. When we were just take Olathe for example. Every single time we go in there, we could put the same pattern down. It never plays the same.
Storm B28, I'll let you educate Grandmaster Yoda there.
What's wrong with CTD? Have they been in a scam or something? Please.
No, not exactly.
The heck is California bowling?
Yeah. Things we're not going to talk about.
We're not going to talk about that. We cannot comment on that kind of stuff.
We've already talked about it.
I'm on.
We're not talking about it anymore. How about that?
Boom. CTD aren't good people to be affiliated with. House ends closest to the doors of the ends houses close to the doors look the most. Yeah, that makes sense. It really does. So a lot of it depends on the location too. Like take Aaron's Family Fun Center in Belton, for example. The low end hooks more. Oh, I was like, what the heck was that? The low end hooks more, but if you get to the middle where the main doors are, they're tighter. So it's just different. So
all right. So we're going to take a break here. Sample A is Trilogy, 10-year-old Scotch. Oh yeah.
What is this?
Scotch.
My goodness. Okay.
Trilogy, 10-year-old.
Was the last testers that we had, were they Scotch?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll let you pour these in. I can do it again.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter too much.
These are a little hard to judge.
Yeah, I'm not really too worried about it. I love Scotch.
Scotch. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting he's our coaster.
There we go. I need that.
Flaviar subscription. Glenlivet. I like Glenlivet.
I like these little bottles though.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Carry on. And I've got these nice little whiskey stones in here that my daughter and son-in-law got for me.
Good question, Luke. What do you consider your basic layout?
My basic layout for most stuff is pin in the ring, which makes it a 4 3/4 inch pin. Any stronger than that, and there's normally too much flare or the ball gets started too early. Any longer than that, and the ball wants to start losing axis rotation or straightening out, and so it's a nice blend between something that's going to be continuous, because I kind of come up the back of the ball, so something that's continuous helps. But if I get too much stronger than that, it normally ends up being too much flare, too early, too rolly, something or other. And so on the asymmetric stuff, I do a really strong PSA to PAP of 3.5, which makes it the easiest way to explain that is think of it as a secondary pin, or a secondary pin position, or a secondary pin length. It's not quite as it's not as strong, but it kind of serves a similar purpose. But doing a 4 3/4 inch pin still gets me through the fronts pretty easy. It still gives me enough continuation, but having that really strong PSA to PAP helps the ball wind up hard in the mid lane and really transition strongly. So,
but you still also change it up a little bit, don't you? You don't put the same thing on everything?
No, I don't put the same thing on everything. That's my standard ASIM layout because that looks amazing on everything that I put it on.
Okay.
Plus, at the same time, when I'm doing different videos, it's having several controls is important for any kind of testing. So that helps a lot.
Angel's the one that puts the same thing on everything. She's comfortable with that layout. She likes it, and this is what she goes with.
Yeah, what Storm B28 says, over the ring gets going too forward too quick for me, especially ASIM balls. I used to do that with my ASIMs, but I had that problem where there was too much ball reaction too early. So I liked the amount of ball reaction I was getting. I liked the general roll, but it was starting up too soon. And so by just tweaking that a little bit, I went from 5 by 3.5 by 2.5 to 4 3/4 by 3.5 by 3.5. So it's a relatively small change, but adjustments to both the pin distance, making that and most of the time pin position, you're not going to feel a difference between a 1/4 inch, especially, let alone, it has to be half-inch differences before you're really even going to feel it. But the inch difference in the PSA, the inch difference in the val angle, or the pin buffer, is what really creates a difference too.
Right.
So, and that's the thing, is that we've I think your Venom Shock has the pin in the ring.
It does. So does my Force Fire. Force Fire as well. And I like that layout on it, actually. That's the first time that I'd ever used that layout, and you suggested it, and it actually looks pretty good on me.
Yeah, it's a nice way to split the difference between pin up and pin down.
It is.
So you don't quite get the early strength and aggression of pin up, but it doesn't get too long and too lazy like you can get with pin down.
It's weird not seeing a pin on it.
Yeah. But
somebody asked me that the other day. It's like, where's your pin on your shock? I said, you find it. See if you can find it.
Yeah. So anyway, you can talk in a few specifics.
Yep.
But at the same time, you need to stay open-minded. You need to pay attention to everything. You can't just look at how sharp or how smooth the ball is down lane and get any kind of a read on anything. You have to watch the entire path of the ball from the foul line to the pins, watch exactly what it's doing, see if it's wiggling, see if it's whatever else. There's so much of bowling that is personal experience that you just have to get out and bowl. You have to get out and bowl everything. And I always used to think, well, I'm not good enough to go to this certain tournament, or I'm not good enough to, or ready for this.
Just go.
Yeah. It's one of those things, you're never going to know what you need to work on unless you go find out what you have to work on.
100%.
So it's really helpful having, we kind of joke about having the mini regionals whenever we go to Kansas City and bowl, because Brad's there a lot of the time. We've had Zach Wilkins come through. Kyle's there every once in a while. We see Jacob Buttriff every once in a while. We see Mitch Upe, Packy, and then the rest. Before we even get into Ryan Burks and Mark Henninger and Trevor and Dylan, and the rest of the normal hot shots that you're going to have in stuff anyway, but
he could be competing on tour right now.
He's well, I'm not sure if I should go do some regionals or whatever. I'm
we
like,
talked about
dude,
it last night. Yeah, you need to go play.
Holy crap, dude.
You need to go play. That guy is one of the best lefties with your thing. Just not two-handed.
Yeah,
like,
and he's better. He's good with everything.
I mean, the dude hits this every time. Does he not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's ridiculously good. But anyway,
it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice to have people like that to watch and to compete against, so that you get an idea of where you're actually at.
Yep.
But you also have to know what you're going to have to improve on too. So the biggest two things in bowling: paying attention and experience.
Correct.
Because you can't ask questions for that stuff. You can't. You can learn stuff. You can. I needed a 14-pin fill last night to make a step ladder pocket. Yeah,
that's all right. Still.
Yeah.
You must have bowled well. You at least put yourself in position, though.
Brad, that's great.
Oh gosh, Colin. You must have bowled pretty good though, winning at least there. So.
You know, I can always help you out with ball selection, and you can get a general idea of ball reaction from watching videos. Beyond that, layout specifics are going to be person to person, lane conditions, lane surface, whatever else. So don't be afraid to experiment with surface. Don't be afraid to experiment with layouts, because that is the biggest thing about being a staffer. When people say, oh, you get all kinds of bowling balls, it's like, well, if they don't work for you, it's whatever. The biggest thing is being able to, number one, understand cores, understand covers, understand layouts and surfaces.
Correct.
So you understand all the tech stuff. It helps you, instead of just seeing it on a video, when you're actually throwing it and comparing this ball with this cover, with this core, with this layout, to another ball with something similar, but it's a little bit different. So if you can have the same cover on different cores, you can feel, you know, the difference in the cores.
Right.
And then if you have the same cover on several different cores, then you can feel what that cover really does. And so much of it is experience, that you just have to get out there and bowl. You have to get out there and do it.
Understanding shapes.
Yeah, and you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention to absolutely everything that goes on. So you can't get into something and say, oh, okay, well, a pearl's going to do this, a solid's going to do this, and a hybrid's going to do this. No. Well, this pattern is going to play this way. No.
Just take the Forge Fire and the Trident Horizon.
Yeah.
And both hybrids. How much drastically different are both of those?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but he's 100% right. And I will, if you're too scared to go out there and bowl something, don't do it. Just go play.
You just got to go bowl. You got to look at it as an investment.
Is your first one going to go good? Maybe. Is it going to go bad? Possibly. But you can't think about that. Just go play. That's how you just get your feet wet and get out there, and you'll get better. Am I right?
Yes, and this is actually perfect to segue in the recommended way to attack wet, dry conditions. This is killing me. Storm B28 says Mark Sherman, surface. Surface and control is the best way to do that. Surface is something that you can experiment with. Yeah.
Sorry.
Surface is something that you can experiment with indefinitely, because if you change the surface and you don't like it, you can always sand the ball back down. You can always polish it back up. So there's no reason to not try different things. I don't know how many people will throw a ball and they don't like it out of the box, and then they just like get rid of it in 2 games.
Why?
After complaining about how, after most of the time complaining about how expensive bowling balls are and how they're trying to milk money out of us. You can do so many different things with a bowling ball.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some surface tutorials, and the next thing that I wanted to talk about was surface, because there's 2 main reasons to use surface. One is for traction and one is for shape.
Yeah, 100%.
So surface can affect several different things, and how you use those that's when the roots of the tree or the spider webs kind of start going everywhere. But generally you use it either because you need more hook or less hook in the case of if you polish something. But if you sand something versus polishing it.
Well, I think that's where the biggest confusion out of it comes is a lot of people think, when they think of surface, they think I'm just putting surface on so I can get more hook, instead of realizing it can change shapes. And
then beyond that, people will put surface on something. Somebody said, well, I took my ball down to you know, it's been kind of lazy. It didn't have a whole lot of back end, so I took it to 2000, and that didn't really help. Like, hook isn't back end.
Really?
So 2000 grit is going to make it even earlier and smoother.
It's just going to make it earlier, smooth and quit, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it's going to do.
So yeah, more surface does not make the ball visibly shape more. There's a big difference between hook and shape, and I always argue that they're opposite. The more hook you get, the less shape you're going to have. So, yeah. Surface gets it to slow down so it doesn't jerk off the drive. Exactly.
I posted that out there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Banana pearls underrated. Yeah, I mean, this is a great topic today. We could sit here and talk about this stuff all day.
Oh yeah.
Roller, speed roller, X fast pitcher. So some of my pitching skills help me with bowling. Oh yeah.
Definitely.
100%. Yep.
Yep. And you can, you know, different releases for.
That's another thing too. Is players need to learn to trick their hands more.
Yeah.
And think
because all the things that you can do. Yeah. If you play fast pitch softball.
Try taking your hand out of it.
Yeah. There's all kinds of things you can do with a softball, and the exact same concepts can be applied to bowling. You can do the same things with a bowling ball that you can do with a softball.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, that's another big thing that we were talking about is just the fact that people they think, well, they're throwing it, they're not changing how hard they throw it, the speed they throw it, and they still get up there and trying to turn as much as they can. Well, it's hooking too much. Well, did you try tricking your hand? Did you even with carry? Pin carry is the same way.
Yeah,
it makes a huge difference. Entry angle. Most people say hook.
The Therion, yes. Most people say hook, but they mean back in motion because this is the easiest thing to see for the untrained eye. And that's the thing is that, you know, and that's something I had to learn as a pro shop operator way back in the day, because initially I thought hook was back in, and then I learned that hook wasn't back in, and so I start thinking in my own head, and then somebody comes in and says, well, I need a ball that hooks a lot, and so I'm thinking,
doesn't everybody?
I remember I put Tommy Thompson to do a scandal one time because he said I need hook, and the scandal had just come out, and I said, okay, well, this ball is going to hook, and then he's out there trying to play fifth arrow with it, and it's kind of getting the job done, but it's on the struggle bus down lane, and
kind of puking.
Yeah, and I'm going, well,
how'd you drill it? Do you remember?
This? Oh, I don't remember.
Just curious.
This is the next one.
What is this? So we can show them here. Scotch.
The last one was Trilogy, and it tastes kind of like Johnny Walker Black. It's kind of like the standard. It's like what Jack Daniels is to whiskey, Johnny Walker is to Scotch. It's just a good, solid.
And these are the little tubes that he's getting them in. They're kind of cool.
Yeah, from Flaviar.
Flaviar.
Sample B is Glenallachie 12-year.
Glenallachie 12-year, huh?
Yeah.
All right, let's give it a shot.
So this stuff should be pretty good.
Scotchy. Hook is not hashtag booty. Great.
Yeah.
Give it to Angel to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So when most people, like you said, when most people say hook, they mean back end motion, but it's the easiest thing for them to see because they see when a ball turns and actually covers ground, they read that, or maybe not read it, but they don't understand that that's not actually hook. That is back end, or that is the roll phase.
Yep.
When
hook skid.
So yeah, you've got skid, so the ball skids, and then when it starts hooking, it stops going one direction and starts going the other direction, and then roll is when it just continues in the direction that it started hooking.
When it finally flips over, basically.
Yeah.
We finally had a good topic today. This is good.
Yeah.
Kind of rambled the last couple.
Yeah, and I've kind of wanted to make this more topic driven anyway.
Well, it's good if people get involved with it and they like it, so.
This is different.
That's actually really good. It's like got the
It's got a little bit more
punch at all.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's no easy to mix it up. Like it makes sense.
But I'm not sure what that.
That's good.
Yeah, because it's smoky, but there's an extra flavor there that I'm not sure exactly.
I thought that I was tasting smoky flavor, but I didn't know if that was
it's smoky, but there's something a little bit beyond that that's interesting.
Interesting. I'm just looking at the glass. I like these glasses. But are we?
Yeah, this one has a little point in the middle for some reason.
All right. Chaos. Sand it down. It's one of the worst balls I'd ever thrown. The thing is, it hit friction, immediately rolled out and hit.
Yeah, and it could be, and that's a lot of the time where cover stock formulas
Yeah.
are important.
Yep.
So having something like a dark code and a UC2, the UC2 is a little bit longer, a little bit flippier. On the lane, they read somewhat similar on normal conditions, but sometimes you need a stronger cover to get a little bit more dig earlier.
Yep.
And still have some shape versus a cleaner cover like is on the UC2 that's going to push a little bit further and not burn up so much on higher friction conditions. Yep. So even though they kind of visibly read similar on the lanes, the different cover stock formulas can make them handle different situations wildly different.
Yep. Well, that's also too kind of like when they start getting dry, you can you can go back into bigger covers and bigger cores too.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is sometimes you use dumb strong stuff on
stupid hook
on high friction for the control, not for the hook. Again, because surface can both control hook potential and shape.
I mean, kind of like I throw a forged flare on game 8 of the block a lot.
Yeah, because it hits friction at 30 feet and it kind of stops and just walks into the pocket.
Exactly. Colin, I did not. I was camping. Sorry. I'll look at it when I get home.
So yeah, the Scandal was a great ball, but we weren't on the same page. I was thinking hook, and he was thinking he wanted something to turn sideways. So I'm thinking strong and early. He's thinking long and flippy. We weren't on the same page because the definitions were off.
Which one was better, the Scandal or the Scandal S?
I think most people like the Scandal S better, actually, because the Scandal was good.
They only made just the two?
Yeah, I think so. The Scandal and Scandal S. But the Scandal S was, I think it was hybrid and it was shiny. And so it gives you more visible ball reaction.
I haven't thrown a lot of the
ProMotion shape, love it. I've been the biggest hipster.
The serial number's gone on my first one. A Game Breaker 3. I heard the GB3 was pretty good. Actually, the GB4 doesn't look terrible.
That looks pretty good.
They've got a couple. We'll give them that. Can't talk about our stuff, though, because it'll deflect.
For 30 games. Yeah.
So much deflection.
Yep. Verity made it look great. You better believe it.
I didn't realize that's what she threw. I honestly, all I could see, I just saw a couple of videos. I guess I didn't pay enough close attention to it.
She obliterated everybody. They did. The one thing Shannon O'Keefe had, like, after she had already lost the game, she had like the back 5 or 6 to make Verity get like 8 or 9 in the 10th. And then Verity struck out. So,
are the ghosts going to be DC anytime soon? I will say absolutely not. If they do, I will literally cry.
Okay. There is another good question. How do you move with the transition in urethane? That's a whole lot.
So it depends on how that's worded. Are you saying with the transition while throwing urethane, or people on your pair throwing urethane? Is that kind of?
Yeah. So if you're using urethane, it creates a different kind of transition.
100%.
But if I've always found urethane transition to be awesome because most people try to cut through the transition.
Yep.
Urethane creates hold. It creates a shim. So all you have to do is straighten up and just give it the rocket to the pocket.
It can actually sometimes do you a favor.
Yeah, it really can.
It can.
And sometimes it's annoying, especially if you try to hook through it. And that's what everybody's thing is well, I need a ball that cuts through carry down. Well, no, you don't.
No,
you need to
just move right.
You need to play the carry down the correct way.
You don't have to change balls a lot. Just move. Yeah. Just gradually move right if you're righty, and gradually move left. I mean.
Yeah, you pollute the back end, but what you also do is, what you do with urethane is you just use it as hold.
It just makes it spotty down lane, is what
it makes it spotty down lane, and it can make it a little tough, but you're never, ever, ever going to dig through carry down.
No, 100%.
That will never, ever happen.
I mean, unless you have like 200.
And urethane picks up oil in the front part of the lane and deposits it further down the lane. So using surface to blend things out is probably going to be counteractive because you're not going to have the heads to get the ball down the lane to begin with.
Urethane on how it screws it up. It honestly, it affects the same thing on challenge/sport patterns. It does the same thing.
So. But if you, and somebody commented on this the other day, I have a video that I put up last year or 2 years ago on proper lane transition for the Open Championships on team.
Oh yeah, I watched that. That was good.
And so I
video.
used, and it actually came out really good. A lot of the time things don't translate on video or ideas, because I want to try to show shapes and how, continuous versus stuff that wants to naturally straighten out. And it was abysmal. It didn't look right on video at all. It's something that you can see and something you can feel. But as soon as I tried to put it on video, you couldn't see it.
That's when you did. No, you showed some old video from the championships, if I remember right.
Yeah, I showed showed some old video from the championships, but I also had I had proper lane conditioning, I think is what the name of the video is. And I showed conditioning the lane or breaking it down using I used a crux prime for 10 minutes or whatever to try to burn a spot.
Just give yourself a little hole there.
I used some urethane to get some carry down on the back end to try to push it down and give you some miss room in the middle. And then I couldn't miss with my Wild Streak, High Road T, ProMotion, whatever else.
See,
it was just...
I don't think you're going to need to do that.
Just a freaking trot,
on the left side. I think it's going to be, you need to bring a fast pitch.
Yeah. Henniger on the delivery spars bowled.
Yeah, I just saw the number.
Yesterday.
It was a pretty big number.
Yeah, it was 3280 something. So.
By the way, did you see their jerseys?
Oh yeah, the Care Bears jersey. Oh, that's the first thing I did. Mark posted his, and I had to put the care response on there for the Care Bears.
They had a big number. But for you, I think it's going to be ProMotion's got to go. Your fast pitch is going to go.
Yep.
Are you going to take a black?
Yep, I'm going to take a pitch black just in case, and that's only going to be for team.
I would hit that thing with a bunch of surface.
I'm drilling a brand new one.
Fresh one? Okay.
Yep. So it comes with 1,000. So.
About too much videos are catching up. Is there? Oh, I'm not reading that. We'll pass on.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not going to say that name. It's Hillside and Acetone.
Yeah. What was Verity throwing? I missed the show. ProMotion. The entire show.
Oh, I look rough. I need shave.
I just actually prettied myself up this morning.
One more discussion in the chat. Look at John. Yeah. No, look at this. Yeah. Like, I haven't gone this long without shaving forever. I've just been camping. Like, there's the hashtag horseshoe, the neck beard.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, Campfield.
He won something the other day.
Yeah.
Did you see the gold chain?
They have it's a league.
Yeah, it actually looks really cool.
Yeah, I know. It looks like a lot of fun. It's like it's a match play. It's a bracket match play league or something.
Don't they do qualifying for seeding?
Yeah, you bowl a few games to seed yourself into the bracket, and then you have a bracket to finish out. And it's a league, so it's a bracket league, which is just amazing.
That's really cool, though.
Yeah, so it's like having a shootout every single night of league.
So your 3 games will be your average.
Yeah.
And then bracket play is just
that's CGN, and it sounds
with
cool.
handicap. We need to.
Going to Nationals Monday. We're going in a month and a half.
Good luck. They're actually going the last 2 days of the tournament.
Yeah, we're going to be the last 2 days of the tournament.
Speaking of that, you guys might be picking up Trevor. I heard.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Trevor's trying to go too. So there you go. You can bounce off him, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be on the same team or not because.
I have no idea, but you guys can at least talk back and forth. Yeah, you have Chaz there too. So
yeah, Chaz and I are on the same team, and then we got Dallas and Connor Kottke and
Dallas Baldridge.
Who else is on our team?
Yeah, Bruce, right?
No, Bruce is on Ramsden, Spencer, Zach Pelton,
Spencer. Oh, Hildebrand.
Yeah.
Did you guys just pick him up?
Yeah, because Austin Bowles was going to go, but then he couldn't because there's a regional that weekend that he needs the points for, or that he wants the points for to bowl in the top 32.
He's trying to get he's trying to get that big RPI.
Yeah,
they're trying to bring back the RPI, the regional resident pro. Well, it's like pays like $20 grand or $25 grand or something like that if you win it, and they're going to do a TV show and everything out of it. So yeah, I don't blame him. That's why I asked Packy one day when we seen him in Wichita. It was actually when I was down there for the Southwest. And I said, he doesn't bowl regionals. I said, why not? You going to start bowling now for the RPI points? Oh, yeah, I'll put money on the table. Big thing about regionals, they don't pay anything. PBA regionals are glorified practice on hard stuff. Is that right? They don't pay anything. What is it to win? $2 grand, $2,500? It sounds like a lot, but just the cash is only like usually your 200 plus your entry. So say it's so I don't know what they are to enter now. How much are they now?
Chance. Chance.
How much are the regionals to enter now? 300?
Yeah.
Non-member.
Yeah.
So
about
say
300-ish.
say 300. You're probably going to make back just a minimum cash about $500. I know that sounds $200 profit, but you got to think you traveled.
Yeah.
You got food. You've got gas. It's not worth it. Really isn't. The regional program, they need to put more incentives in it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but yeah. So we're bowling. It's me, Dallas, Chaz, Connor Kotke, and Chance.
That's your team.
So yeah,
Chance
that's going to
Rivera?
be yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's going to be a pretty. But then Bruce's team is Bruce and Ramsden and Spencer Hildebrand, Zach Pelton, and Ryan Klaus.
Pelton's going too.
Yeah, Pelton can do whatever, and the
Klaus
rest
is
of the
on fire right
yeah,
now.
and the rest of the guys hook the ball. So we're kind of going with, okay, if this idea works, this team's gonna kill it. We're not trying to break everybody up. We're trying to put ideas with ideas. Because if the left side's good, then me and Chaz are gonna carry the team. And if urethane's in play too, me and Chaz are gonna carry the team. But Dallas also plays really well with urethane.
Dallas does.
Yeah, Chance plays really well with urethane.
Hold a hand.
Yeah, and Connor can really do whatever. So
Dallas isn't on staff with anybody, is he?
no.
I thought at one time back in the day
He was with
or something like.
Yeah, he was with Deviate or Ebonite or something like that. But
No wonder why. We can do a show one week about lane play and for nationals and stuff like that.
well, I was thinking that
We do a live stream, right?
I've been meaning to do that. So I think next weekend at some point I'm going to set up a practice session.
Why don't we go Friday?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that either Friday night, Saturday, whatever else.
I don't care.
But yeah, Friday night might actually work the best.
Should we do it for Rise and Grinds instead of a talk?
Yeah, I mean we can do it. We can do all kinds of stuff.
A Rise and Grinds.
That was really good.
Yeah, that is amazing. No, we can do it
Saturday morning. Dog's fed.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
Saturday morning. Oh, my dad's gonna come out and have lunch on Saturday. That's about it.
Yeah,
Because next weekend's Father's Day.
So we can get the mics?
Yes, we're getting the mics. He was supposed to mail them to me, but you know.
That's okay. 'Cause we were gonna do something from the garage. I was like, we really gotta wait on the mics.
Try to
Oh,
identify
perfect. Then yeah, I'll get them next Saturday.
that extra little flavor that's great. But I don't know.
100%. I'll have them next Saturday.
Sample C.
So Luke and I are getting some microphones.
Sample C is going to be amazing.
Luke and I are getting some
Port-
microphones that you'll be able to hear us real well. So
Port Ass Keg. And this is a pretty peaty scotch, if I remember right.
ass and then keg.
Yeah.
Right.
Port Ass Keg.
110 proof, huh?
Yeah. This is going to be, yeah.
Ooh.
This is going to be, oh yeah. That's peaty.
Oh my.
Crazy. Crazy peaty. So the few things that we've really established here is that bowling is not mathematical. Experience will always trump everything. You have to go out and get experience. You have to understand the tech of things, and you have to cover formulas are something that are very, very misunderstood. So you need to get into cover formulas and understanding those.
It's going to take a while to learn it.
Yeah.
You get in there and you study it. If you really want to learn it, it pays off. It really does.
Yeah. So you got to study the stuff. You have to get out there and get experience.
Yep.
And now we're going to get into the mental side of things, which is what I kind of figured out a little bit on Thursday after planning the. Yeah.
I got nowhere to go.
Mhm.
So my little one is at. Ooh. I was not ready for that.
Fire.
Of course, you set me up with that one last.
Yeah. Angel would not like that.
I just licked a brick head.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you need some water? I just saw that facial expression.
I was expecting like smooth scotch. That's like the Lafroig.
I'll smell it.
Yeah.
You're about to just come over here in the vicinity.
I'm gonna leave myself some room to back up. I don't even want to get close.
Oh yeah, it's.
Yep.
I took a drink of that and I was thinking.
Yeah, this is Lafroig. I mean, this is Lafroig type.
Oh, that's worse.
It might be.
What is that one?
Port Ass Keg.
That one.
This is amazing.
No, was it C? Was it C or B?
C.
C. It was this one. This one. Sorry.
Okay.
I thought I had.
Port Ass Keg. Here you go.
Oh my goodness.
Woo.
Oh. Ass Keg.
110
Yeah.
proof?
Show
That's
that.
what I just said.
Well, I mean, it's only 55%, which is most
That's
whiskeys are.
Brent, that's what I
40 to
said. I said,
60.
you mean it's ass keg?
Yeah.
It's a dirty job, but somebody's got to do it.
ASKAIG.
I mean, it's not bad. Have you had Lefroy?
It's really,
we've had
this
that.
is the bite lingers or the fire lingers a little bit more.
It stays there the whole time. It doesn't
Yeah.
leave. It's not going anywhere. Holy
It's
smokes.
like eating something spicy,
Should
and
I
then
go
you're.
do we have any more of the coffee?
No, we do have another one of these actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, do I need
We've got chasers.
We got chasers.
Yeah, we got chasers.
What's up in the beer fridge? Maybe I'll go pull something there.
Yeah.
I've got those sours,
To
but
me, Scotch
that
tastes
may not
like the
help.
bottom of a sour green elevator smells.
oh man, Scotch is amazing. I love Scotch.
Scotchy. Sorry, doing my anchor man.
But so the mental side of things is a totally different. So once you have all the information, once you have the experience, whatever else, you then have to put it together, and you have to step on people's throats. And this is what I was talking about. We in our Discord last night, we screen shared or whatever the PWBA finals.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
This is something that Shannon O'Keefe is ridiculously good at. Something that Sean Rash is really good at. Is winning. There's a difference between showing up, staying in the process, and staying calm and staying patient and whatever else. But there's times when you have to get up and you have to step on people's throats. You have to finish it off. You have to have that killer instinct to where you're going to get in there. You're going to make things happen. You're not going to apologize. You have to, because the whole point of the process is to help you perform, succeed, and win.
Yep.
And if you don't ever finish it off, if you just stay in the process the whole time, and that's where I think that got the Sequench Ale.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
Sorry, we kind of just.
No, that's fine.
The Juicy IPA, the Slightly Mighty, the Low Cal IPA, and then we have the Hazy.
My waistline is not
whatever.
curious. It's low cal.
Yeah, it's low
We're good.
calorie.
I've had the
This
probes.
man.
We had this, right? No.
Yeah, we've had that, but it's good.
What's this one?
Hazy IPA, Sequench.
So we have this just for Brent.
Yep, Sequench.
It's a sour.
Session sour.
Should I do it for you, Brent?
Well, that's why I brought others, so that way if you don't,
Well, we have my big sour can, and then we have the Lindemans
I'll
framboise that I
put
had
that one in the
yesterday.
fridge. We'll save that one for last, and I'll give you a small little glass.
Okay. I'm trying to decide.
Or do you want to go ahead and continue the torture and do this now?
Let's do that now, and then we can cleanse our palates with something else.
That's gonna like.
Oh man,
you're gonna have to feed me some chips to get out of that taste.
Oh god, Billy's here, but he's wrong.
Okay, here's your glass.
Oh, that's
for there.
Oh my, you got little.
Yep.
This is very clear too. Like you can see the color on this. It's hard to see the color but it's not as dark. But yeah, that stuff's amazing.
It's good. It's just very like it's there. It's not going anywhere.
It's very aggressive. It does burn a little bit.
Well,
I would
like
not shoot this
rum.
stuff. This is a definite sipping whiskey or sipping scotch because the flavor sticks with you for a long time.
Yeah, I'm tasting it.
Yeah,
I'm like chewing on it.
Can I taste it?
On my tongue.
Yeah.
Like the flavor stays there for a while.
What the heck did I just tune into? Yeah, I don't know. Scroll back. Like we talked about bowling for so long.
There. Cleanse your palate.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh. It's a no-go on the chug.
Mm,
No, they ain't happening.
that's a bad idea.
Brent, we need you for that.
So
I've never watched a guy chug a sour.
as far I can,
Brent did it that one day
Yeah.
last week.
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm sitting there watching him
He
like,
just upended that $10 sour beer. He took a few sips and then just chugged it.
you're thirsty.
Yeah, I know. $9.29, and it was gone in a minute.
I'll chug straight vodka
Woof.
before like water. Oh,
Vodka is terrible. Vodka is what's terrible. This actually has flavor and taste.
That's
and
what'll make me
character and-
sick.
Spent $10 than any woman in the clearance section ever has.
That's legit what will make me sick. Vodka, no go. Nope. Mm-mm. Not gonna do it.
So the middle game is how you put. Segue. The middle game is how you put. I'm
No,
good.
you're still drinking that.
Yeah, this is amazing.
I gotta get that.
You got to taste that in your mouth.
Smoke taste. That one's worse. Bullets amazing. Sorry. Let me know again. Sorry. You were talking about stepping on their throats.
Something that Verity has always been ridiculously good about is the process.
Yeah.
Fundamentals, practice, staying calm, staying patient, staying in the moment, focusing on making the shot. Because once you throw the shot, you can't control all the 9 pins that you leave in Belton.
She has a good pre-shot routine too. Pre-shot routine is big.
Yeah. So you develop all these mechanical things. You practice to reinforce muscle memory. You develop all these things to where you get to the point where you don't let fear or doubt or nerves or anything else enter into it. You practice so much so that even in the face of all of these things, you can still perform. It's a way to kind of put yourself on autopilot.
Keep going. I'm testing.
I think you're going to like this better than you think you will, because it's not sour. It's almost like a lime margarita.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Brent, you win.
It's like a limey margarita beer. It's
That's actually really good. I like margarita.
Sour. Yeah.
I was expecting like what you guys fed me at Yard House.
Yeah. No. Moonshine Everclear. God,
That's actually not terrible. I could drink that all day.
Man,
that's actually a good summer beer.
Oh my God. A girlfriend I had way back in the day, I went to her uncle's Christmas party one time, and he had Everclear mixed with the cinnamon red hot apple cider.
Oh.
And I could not taste the Everclear. So I had one of those, and
you were hurting, right?
I'm like, no, I wasn't hurt, because I only had one. I had one little tiny thing. It's like, that's good, right? It's like, yes. It's like, do you want more? No. Absolutely not. Please, dear baby Jesus, no.
It's Everclear.
Yeah.
You can light your stomach on fire after that.
Yeah. And so I'm like, this tastes fantastic, but I can't taste the Everclear that I know is there, and so this is not going to be a good idea. So we're just done now. Yeah, I know. They can't see it. It's okay.
There you go.
So the one thing that I've always thought that Verity didn't really have is that Shannon O'Keefe killer instinct, where you're just going to get up there and you're going to death glare the pins, and you're just going to make something happen. Sometimes you can stay in the process so long that you forget to finish it or close the door. And
Shannon gives you that intimidation look too, though.
Yeah, Shannon is just, and
she gives you that growl.
I think that's why, because Shannon prepares the same way too. She's very into working out, keeping her body in good shape, fundamentals, practice, all the same things that Verity does. Verity is just nicer about it. Yep. Shannon O'Keefe has that absolute, just almost demonic killer instinct, to where when it's time to win some stuff, she's going to take all that stuff to the next level, and she's just going to run people over. And I think that's why Shannon's a little bit older too, but I think that's why she's had more success up to this point. She's older, she's had a little bit more experience, but when it comes time to win, she has that killer instinct that puts her over the top.
Yeah.
And Verity and Daria and Diana are still a little kind of on the nice side. And so
she's intimidating too, though.
Yeah.
You believe it or not, you carry yourself with that confidence against an opponent makes a difference.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference.
And I think that for this first title, Verity's preparation carried her through it. She was on autopilot.
I think it's going to carry into a lot more.
Yeah. Really do. And that's the thing, is that I think now that she's got that taste of winning, she knows what it takes to win, so she's going to double down on all the preparation, all the fundamentals, all the other stuff that she's normally been doing anyway.
She throws it too good not to win.
Yeah, but now she's got that hyper laser focus that is, okay, well, all this stuff comes into, it's come to a point. We're going to win. We're going to finish things off, and that's what I was talking to Ilpad yesterday, or no, a couple days ago, because he was, once we got done bowling on Thursday, and I whined and cried like a baby, and I was just
you practiced a bunch.
Throwing a fit. Yeah, I stuck around and practiced 6 more games, and I finally got to the point, the last couple games, where I'm like, just make the shot, because I'm trying on the right side of the lane.
That's all you needed to do that night, though.
Yeah.
It was there.
It was there, and that's the thing, is always there at Royal Crest. There's no way that I should, on Thursday nights, I should never shoot under 900 for 4 games. Shouldn't happen. I shouldn't ever average under 230 there at any point ever.
Let's be honest, I shouldn't either.
Yeah. But what I finally figured out after 4 games of league, 4 games of practice, and then the very last 2 games, I went 250, 250, and I don't ever practice for score. But at that certain point, practicing for score was important because I was trying to score.
You're trying to put something together.
Yeah, you're trying
100%.
to put something together instead of just throwing good shots,
Yep.
because there's nothing more than there's nothing that I hate worse than people who stay in the process the entire time. It's like, well, at some certain point, you have to get off the practice lanes.
Yeah.
You have to get out of the pro shop.
Yep.
You have to take all the information, all the tech stuff,
Yep.
all the whatever else, you have to put it together, and then you have to have success, or you have to focus into having success, winning, whatever else. It all has to come together at some certain point. You can't just live in this universe of fundamentals and staying patient and whatever else.
I mean, winning feels good.
Yeah.
It really does.
But it's all for a point. The fundamentals, the patience, the practice, the whatever else, it's all for a point. And people get so lost in the process that they forget that there's an end to it.
100%.
There is a goal, there's an idea that you have to get to. And that's what I think
That's not
that has taken Verity so long to win, is that she's been so focused on the process the whole time. That's like, okay, well, at some certain point it has to pay off. Uh-oh, Missile, you got to fly?
Uh-oh.
Yep.
My mom's leaving the camper, and so say hi.
Yeah.
She said we're watching you as we're heading home.
Yeah. So this is something that I finally realized and picked up on Thursday, is that on the right side of the lane, I couldn't really execute or make shots, so I always had to execute an idea.
Yeah.
I had to play for damage control constantly. I had to play for the most room I could get, the most area, the most room at the pocket, the most room on the lane, whatever else, and just take what I got. On the left side of the lane, I started doing the same thing, partially because of the coordination thing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, for right now, I just have to stay slow, stay easy with it, just hit the pocket somewhere and pick up whatever I leave.
Right.
You know, don't try to do too much, too quick, whatever else. And then as the season went on, I kept doing that, but I kept getting more coordinated, more capable. And so on Thursday, after the 4 games of just, it's right there and I can't make the shot. It's right there and I'm still trying to play damage control.
It was one of those nights, though. Like, I was off. I felt I threw it like turd all night long, and it's just one of those nights. It happens. But you when you got done bowling, though, you went and practiced more, and I should have done the same thing.
Yeah, and that's Douglas. That's another good comment.
Sorry.
And I have gotten to that point where I can get fried out for one shot, but still focus on the next shot.
No,
you can't let
that won't happen.
Yeah. You can't let a bad shot. No matter how mad you are, you always have to focus on, okay, well, if I get the back 5, I can get to 210 or I can get to 220. No matter how bad the game's been up to that point, it's like, okay, I can get the back 5 and I can still get to this number. We can just get the hell off of this pair and we can do something else. Or we can go on to the next game. I can switch balls. We can whatever else.
Problem is Thursdays we're on the same pair for 4 years.
Yeah. Now, so that team that we lost a couple games to our team on Thursday that we shouldn't have lost.
No,
but
I was going to say the same thing. I was waiting for you to say.
This is something that's both for us and for them.
Yeah.
Because in their position, we should have swept them pretty easily.
And they went into that knowing they were going to get swept.
Yeah.
I heard them talking.
Yeah. From their end, that's great for their confidence, because even if they didn't,
their exact words were, if these guys bolted their capabilities, we're going to get beat up by a lot. And then, of course, they take 2 from us.
The 2 games that they beat us, they shot, and this is a doubles league, they shot 430 one game and 415 the other game.
We're still losing those games.
So there's no way that we should be losing to that. But from our perspective, we underperformed, but from their perspective, they took advantage of us underperforming. So you can go into something and think, okay, well, there's
in a scratch league.
There's a better, okay, so they're better than I am. They should beat me, whatever else. But they took 2 games from us.
They did.
And so that's, you can't expect, even good bowlers are going to have bad games.
Oh, yeah.
But it's your job, even if the other bowler is better, to take advantage of that.
Yep.
If they would have shot, because those 2 games they beat us, we shot 390 and 380 or something like that.
Was not pretty.
They bowled well for them, and we bowled badly for us. But if they would have just thought, oh well, they're just going to
Remember,
sweep us.
I shot 279 game one.
Yeah. But if they wouldn't have bowled well themselves, they wouldn't have taken advantage of us having a couple off games. So that's to their credit, both
that guy
physically and mentally.
Yeah. He's actually bowling really well right now.
Yeah.
He shot 300.
And so you have to take that. You have to use that.
My first thought was, why did he not throw this in?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Because we ended up winning total specifically because we beat them by 100 and something the first game, because they shot 320 to our 460.
I mean, I had 279. You had 210.
Mm-hmm.
But he had the Zen out last week and shot 300.
Yeah.
When I saw him not pull that out, I'm like, please throw that all night.
Yeah. So they adjusted. They took advantage of a couple of our bad games, which credit to them, because that's just being honest. We know that we're better than they are. They know that we're better than they are. But that has nothing to do with anything.
Don't matter. Bowling's bowling.
That's why you bowl the game. That's why you bowl the game. And it's not about disrespect.
Yeah.
It's not about. But it's about honesty.
Yep.
You have to be honest. So from our perspective, we know that we're better than they are. We underperformed, so we need to take that and do what we need to do with that.
But that's what makes bowling great.
They know that we're
Really
better than they are, but they can't let that knock them down, or they can't come into that. They can't come into the set with the idea, well, they're better than they are, and they're better than we are, and we're just not gonna. They got 2 of the 6 points available on the night. We should have swept them. We know it. They know it, but it didn't happen that way.
Nope. We
had a couple bad games. They took advantage of that.
Yep.
So we need to use that to regroup and get better. They need to use that to build on. So that has nothing to do with, and a lot of people, well, you're just being cocky, or you're just being condescending, or Lennon beat both me and Angel in that stepladder that he won a couple months ago, or Parkway.
Yep.
On that Charmeleon
Shark, whatever the heck that was.
And so bowler skill at that point has nothing to do with anything. You know, I think I shot 140 at him. Like, so I didn't
you bowled Lennon too, right?
Yeah. Because I bowled what's her name to begin with, and I shot 190 at her.
Did I do commentary on that one?
I don't remember.
I just did the championship match.
Kara Porter.
That's right. It was Kara.
Kara Porter.
That's right.
And so I won. That's cool. I moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I bowled a terrible game against Lennon. He bowled a pretty solid game. I think he shot 190, 200, plus he gets some sticks
100%,
and whatever else. But bowler skill has nothing to do with anything at that point, when you still have to bowl the game.
And you're on something stupid tough.
So from my perspective, I bowled a bad game, but from his perspective, he bowled a good game, and he took advantage of me bowling a bad game. That's how you get better. Yeah. That's just how you get better. And then him and Angel had exactly the same kind of handicap that last game. And she missed a 4-pin. That doesn't, because I think she had to pick that up and then get like 8 or 9.
No, she had to pick it up and get a couple.
But
and it's what's funny is Angel never misses for me.
Yeah.
I'll give Angel some props. That lady does not miss pairs.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, you bowl your game and you take advantage of what anybody else gives you.
Yeah.
And so there's
that's the other thing too. You got to think on the mental side. Bowl against yourself, not against your opponent.
And this is the other interesting thing, is that I beat Shea Bittenbender in a roll-off to even get into that.
That's right.
Yeah. So we both struck 3 times. And the 4th ball, he missed the head pin, and
to the left.
Yeah.
It was to the left.
Yeah.
How did the ball even jump?
I don't know, but this is the thing: is I shouldn't have even been in that match. I shouldn't have even been in that step ladder to begin with, because Shea is he's so far above and beyond me as a right-handed bowler, let alone as a left-handed bowler still figuring it out. He should have been in that step ladder.
They were hard,
but he wasn't. So that's the thing. That's the thing on top of the thing to begin with, is that he should have been bowling instead of me, if we're actually taking it to. And, he knows it. He knows he's way better than I am. I know that he's way better than I am. But in that moment, I beat him in that roll-off to get into the stepladder. And then I ended up finishing 3rd. Angel got 2nd. Lennon beat us all. And so that's that's how it goes. And that, he just said I was already looking forward to 4th place.
But so you can't look at it that way, man.
But yeah, and that's the thing.
You got to walk in the door and say, I'm going to win today.
Yeah.
I'm going to win today.
I shouldn't have been in that step ladder. Lennon shouldn't have been in that step ladder. Angel shouldn't have been in that step ladder. All the people that were in that step ladder shouldn't have been there because there were better bowlers in the building.
I was so looking forward to throwing everything that day.
That's not the way that it shook out. That's
like,
not the way that it happened.
I
learned stuff from that. Angel learned stuff from that. Kara learned stuff from that.
Oh, yeah.
And Lennon went home with a $1,000 check or something.
Cha-ching.
We all made a lot of money. He learned some stuff. He's been bowling well. And so you have to take the situation. You have to use it. You have to build on it. And just, yes.
And then we made more money last week than we would have cashed.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Still cracks me up.
Oh, yeah. So,
sorry.
yeah.
I know. I give Amanda some crap about that.
Mm-hmm.
She goes, well, we cashed. I said, we made more money. Sorry.
But thanks, Lennon, for bringing that up because that's a perfect situation, perfect illustration, perfect idea of exactly what I'm trying to talk
100%. About. Yep.
So
in a place that sucks.
So what I eventually learned on Thursday nights is that I started getting mad at myself because I'm like, well, I'm trying to play it safe. I'm trying to stay. I'm still in the process. I'm still in the idea instead of just instead of just getting up and making the shot. And so the last 2 games I bowled, I went 250, 250 because I was specifically focusing.
I wanted this, but I can't do it.
Yeah.
We're not in Discord. Exactly, Angel.
Being a better bowler also includes being able to lose. That is the only way you eventually win.
100%.
So yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier as far as going to tournaments. You think, well, I'm not good enough for tournaments. Well, but if you don't go to tournaments and find out what you're bad at, you're never going to know what to improve on, and you're never going to get good enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you have to go bowl the tournaments. You have to make the investment. And so I'm really looking forward to next Thursday because I got to the point where I was just so fried out with myself that I'm like, I just need to stop doing this and find some other career or something. But the last couple games, I said, just make the shot. Try to knock the pins down. Don't try to, okay, well, I want to stand in the area, or I want to use the ball and the right area on the lanes and the right shape to make the pocket big, to make my area on the lanes big, to make everything, to play it safe. Well, that's great figuring that out off the approach. But once you get on the approach, it's time to focus on making the shot.
So hard.
And so once I started focusing, and that's what I told myself before every single shot, those last couple of games of practice that I bowled, make the shot. Make the shot. And in those 250s, I had an 8-pin. I had 1 flat 7, but I had a couple of drive-by 8s, which are drive-by 9s on the right side. I had a mixer 10 or something like that. So I legitimately, if the pins fall, which you can also practice carry, but I
practice 9 pins.
I shot 515 for the last 2, could have been 560 or 570 for 2 games, but I was labeling shot after shot after shot after shot, specifically because I was focused not on the process, but on the end result of, okay, all this is coming together. I've got the right ball, standing in the right place. I've got plenty of room, plenty of whatever else. It's like, now it's time to finish it.
Yep.
Now it's time for everything to come to a head, for everything to finish out, all the preparation, whatever else. And it's like VERITY finally winning. Yesterday, if you don't have Bowl TV, yesterday was crazy.
Sometimes it takes a little bit before you can walk through that door, though. You've got to take your bumps.
Well, and eventually you have to figure out that you're good enough to do it. And I didn't realize that I was good enough to actually make the shots because I got stuck in the whole, well, I'm still working on coordination. I'm still working on this. I'm still working on picking up 7 pins consistently. I'm still whatever else. And so I was just so stuck in the process that I didn't realize the point that I had gotten to, which is like, oh crap, I can make shots. Yeah. And so now Thursday, probably going to suck again, but I'm looking forward to bowling really well.
It is not going to suck.
So I hope Simo-fried becomes a widely used bowling term. And that's the thing, is that there was Randy did not shut up on that telecast.
Randy should have shut his mouth.
Because some people work like that. Like Pete Weber, if he doesn't find somebody in the crowd to get pissed at and fire him up, some people have to get pissed off to get focused. And other people, if they get pissed off, it it makes their mind
Funny you
wander.
bring him
They
up. Trevor
kinda-
and I
Yeah.
talked about him last night, but we'll talk about that off camera. Just about his tendencies on TV and everything like that.
Yeah.
With
but
the sunglasses and
Yeah, but Simo, if he gets chippy and pissy and bitter and mean and mad and he starts sweating.
see, even when he gets mad at it, he still makes good shots.
But that's the thing, is that's what focuses him. That's like the Pete Weber thing, is that he has to get mad enough to make him care, to make him focus, to pay attention. Other people, that just scatters their brain. If they get mad, everything just goes out the window. But some people, if they're, and that's the same way with me, if I'm just kind of casually having a couple drinks and joking around or whatever else, I don't end up paying attention. I have to get mad to pay attention, to focus me, to say, okay, well, we're here to bowl. We're here to knock down pins. Let's get this stuff
What do
done.
I need to do? Grab your nipple before we start every week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Morning, guys, from Melbourne, Australia.
Raj. What's up?
Congratulations, Verity. Awesome. Good morning, Raj.
With a promotion.
Almost noon here, 22. Actually, 19 now.
I have been the patron saint of promotions. I have been on the bandwagon. I have been the hipster. I have been the guy. And Joe B was telling me, it's like, well, I don't really think that Verity winning a PWBA title and James finally coming around really vindicates you as far as the promotion goes. I'm like, don't bring your logic and
do not bring that here.
Don't bring that your logic. Don't ruin my moment with your logic and objectivity.
If you got James on the promotion,
this feels like a crowning moment.
If you got James on the promotion, that's a win.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You praise the promotion, but then hoard all of them. Yes. I have 8.
Yeah, man, I thought of you watching it.
It's on YouTube over. Yeah, I think they put it up on YouTube, but
I think they actually do it after it's over.
Like, yeah, they do it pretty quick on PWBA. Yeah.
So why subscribe?
I don't know. Well, but Bull TV was terrible. Good yesterday. I mean, it was. Yeah, I know. They don't have an app, and we have to hook the computer. We have to hook a laptop up to the TV to even be able to watch it.
If it wasn't for that, I'd subscribe.
But
it's a pain in the butt.
The last couple rounds, they had the round of 32, so they had the 2 rounds on Friday, and then they cut the top 32, 6 more games. They cut to the top 12, 6 more games.
So they go from 32 to 12.
Yeah, they go from 32. I don't know, but they go from 32 to 12. So 32 is the cut line, and then they go to 12, and then they take the top 4 for the step ladder. But there was, the last several weeks, there's been like 3 or 4 that have just separated themselves from the rest of the field, and it's kind of anticlimactic. This was nuts. I mean, Verity went from 1st to 6th to 5th to whatever else, and Dario went from 11th to 8th to 4th to 1st and whatever else, and so everything bounced around all over the place. I need to finish. Yeah, I'm way behind here. I'm still nurturing my. This stuff is so good.
So if you go back and
ass keg.
Yeah, it was really smoky.
Oh my
if you go back and think about it, and I like the Freud, but that was just like punch in the throat. If you go back and think about it, so our old show, the one that we did, I don't remember how many ago, where we were doing our predictions. Is anybody, if anybody's in here remembers, we were talking about how many titles. So when this PWBA season's over, we need to go back and revisit that because I think we're both way off. I mean, who would have had Julia Bond winning twice? I mean, she's good, but I didn't have her winning twice. We have another 2-time winner, don't we?
Stephanie Zavala.
Would you ever guess that?
No, I didn't even know who she was.
O'Keefe's got one too, right?
Yeah.
And Cote?
So I thought
Cote's got one? Yeah.
Cote's got one. Julia Bond only has one. She got the Queens, but it's a major. So
no, she won another one. No, she won during the Kickoff Classic.
Oh yeah.
She's got 2 titles.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still part of their season. It was just really weird how they separated that.
So yeah, I love Julia Bond. She's one that I'm really getting into too. I loved Verity I've always been a big fan of Verity. I've always been a big fan of the oh God!
I love
the Korean team. Shayna Ung and
I haven't seen them lately.
Sherry Tan and they only come over for a couple tournaments, but Shayna Ung, Sherry Tan, the names are escaping me right now, but Singapore.
Hold
Singapore.
on,
Team
I'm new
Singapore.
Hey, YT,
That's
how's
it.
it going? I'm new here.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Team Singapore. I really like all of their bowlers.
Yeah. There's a couple. I can see their faces. I just can't picture the names. So on the women's side, the only thing that drives me nuts about watching some of them are really herky jerky.
New Hui Fen.
Clemmer. Let me Clemmer it.
Yeah. New Hui Fen.
That's one. Yep.
And then
NG. Isn't there one that's just
Shayna Ung, which is
right.
NG.
Yep.
Sherry Tan, which is the lefty.
Yep. And then I can't remember. So our title is so far, correct me if I'm wrong, is O'Keefe, Vaughn twice, Zavala twice, Bond, or did I say Bond?
Yeah, Bond won twice.
We had one in there in between. Cote's got one.
Yep.
And that's where we're at, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So
Bernice Lim, that's the other one.
Doing fantastic, man. How about yourself? Hanging out on a Sunday with the puppers here?
Daphne Tan. Jezreel Tan. Jezreel bowled for Wichita
they related?
State. Yeah, I'm sure that they're all related. New Hui Fen.
Fen's the one that got a title. Didn't she get a title a couple of years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
and the one that does the
one's the one
Shayna Ung. Yep.
Ung's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
They all throw it amazing.
Yeah. There's another one.
There's a few though out there. There's some that I just enjoy watching, and there's a few that are just like real herky. Like Galante, like she throws it really, really good, but she's really herky jerky. Like, smooth that up.
Yeah.
I was watching some of that the other day, and it looks like there's too much work involved in it instead of just being smooth.
Yeah.
She's a really good player. Don't get me wrong.
So
we're just kind of chit chatting now. We've kind of got past our topics here. So.
Yeah.
Hanging out on Sunday. I've got nothing to do. So
kind of a quick recap here is cores are fairly easy to understand because they have numbers with them. You can figure those out.
Yep.
Cover formulas are a little bit tougher because they don't really. That's a lot of experience and visually watching stuff and understanding friction created, friction response, shapes.
So
how everything kind of comes together. Surface is something that's fairly easy to understand, and that's the other thing is when
Kelly. Sorry, keep going. Yep, Kelly Kulik won last week.
Yep.
Keep going. Sorry. So now we're covered. We also talked a little bit about topography too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Talk a little bit about that.
Yep. So how everything comes together. Experience. You have to have experience. There's no way around it.
No.
Bowling is not mathematical. There's a lot of things that you think that could be mathematical, but as soon as you try to lock something down, you just get further and further. As soon as you try to establish constants when it comes to bowling, you're just going to get further and further away from actually being successful.
About the only thing that's mathematical is in the pro shop.
Yeah.
There's a little mathematical when it comes to board play, but not much.
Nope, she's plugged Discord.
No, she's plugged it. Yep.
Yeah, do it again.
You can also head over to luke.bowlinglabs.com. You can pick up your heckin' urethane t-shirts. They're amazing, by the way. And pick up some Panda Pack patches to support Positive Tales Kansas City. Panda was one we lost here recently. But she was amazing puppo.
She's in a box on the.
Yep. But we're still part of a great group with that. So please support.
Sandra Gongora.
Angel, do you have the link to the Bowling Labs? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of talented players out there right now on the PWBA.
Yeah, there's that's one of those where there's a bunch of good ones that are getting a whole lot better, a whole lot really quick, and it's just
see what the women's tour is doing right now. I was talking to Brad the other day. Is the women's tour what they're doing is what the men's tour needs to go back to.
Yeah.
So what he was saying was, did you watch any of the Brad and Kyle's? They did a podcast thing the other day for a short time.
No, I don't think I saw that.
So they're starting to do a weekly podcast right now just to get some content. They basically were trying to get away from the vlog for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking about what they need to do to get the tour back to life. All this, we bowl a week, and then we take off for a month.
Yeah.
It's not you're not going to make a living doing it. It's just not going to happen. So what they said they really enjoyed was when they had, was it 2 years ago, the year before COVID, where they bowled every week. Every week there was a tour stop.
Yeah.
You travel, you bowl a week, you bowl bad, you're off to the next one. And that's how it should be.
Yeah.
Just like the women are doing right now. It's exactly what it should be. Which is what the summer tour is doing, I think. They start the summer tour next month. So it's all going to be on Flow, though, unfortunately. If you don't subscribe to Flow, do, because it's worth it. And there it is, the Panda Pack patch, Heckin' Urethane tees right there. You can get the urethane Heckin' Urethane t-shirts. You can get them in a zip-up hoodie or a pull. Is it still a hoodie? Zip-up jacket or pullover. A hoodie. So they're pretty cool. Do we have pictures here? Well, not. I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to find this one player that I'm thinking about.
Liesel's sitting over here like, "What's up, guy?"
Yeah.
Liesel. Where did Freddie G? There you go. Yeah, thanks for joining us, man. Where did he say he was from? What he says, 2:30 in the morning. There is that right? I think I was still awake at 2:30 in the morning. Our time. It was a long night. Just kind of hanging out here. So, do you want to? Anybody got any questions? You want to fire any of that off right now for a minute?
Yeah, do some questions here while we're kind of finishing up. And
we got it with us 47. Yeah, ask away, fire away. Kind of a Sunday where we don't have anything going on. Yeah, but D-Tang is blowing every week. Still on his vlog.
Accuracy and reading friction are the things that will matter most, and that is reading friction is super important.
Yep.
Because that's what separates the dark codes from the code blacks of the world, is understanding where it reads friction, how much friction it's reading, how much friction it's creating, whatever else. And that will help you understand different cover stock formulas and how they, all relate to things. And
D-Tang is actually doing a vlog. He's bowling a lot of regionals. He's chasing the RPI. So
yeah,
that's he's bowling regionals pretty much every week. There he is, Melbourne, Australia.
I think Australia is about 5 hours behind us because they're south of Hawaii, and I know Hawaii is 5 hours behind us. So
congrats to Jason Belmonte for having a new little one. But
and having some snow. They have snow in
Australia.
Yeah, well, because it's winter in Australia.
Oh yeah.
He put something up about people. He's like, well, it doesn't snow here very often, but they had some snow, and somebody's like, oh God, it's snowing in June in Australia. That sounds terrible. And it's like, well, June through August.
Doesn't it get pretty hot there in the summer times though?
Yeah, but their summers are winter because they're in the southern hemisphere.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I don't think about
that. Yeah, I know it's one of those things. June through August is kind of their December through February for us.
To say June.
Yeah.
All right, I've got to break the seal here. I'll let you answer some questions there. There you go. He doesn't also depend on lane. There you go. So you can talk about lane play for a second. Oh, I heard
3 a.m. So you're 8 hours behind us. Yeah. Yeah.
Remind me to never do that again.
Yeah. We need to go golfing sometime here, Sam.
I'm already hurting just thinking about it. But yes, we do.
Yeah. Yes, it also depends on the AMF makes HPLs and SPLs. HPLs are higher friction. Storm headquarters has SPLs, which are a little bit lower friction. So Brunswick has Pro Lane, Pro Anvilane, different generations of those. So there's all kinds of stuff that goes into the technical side of things, and then you have the mental side of things, and then there's so much stuff that goes into it. So number one, you can't ever take what anybody says is gospel, that me included. Because the way I see things, I try to be as objective and really just as objective as possible, as unbiased as possible, but I'm still going to tell things from my perspective. I'm going to relate things from my perspective. I'm going to explain things from my perspective. And that may or may not be something that works well for you. I know it doesn't work very good for Angel, She just tells me, stop talking. Ilpad's told me the same thing. It's like you just need to let her bowl
I hurt so bad.
and figure it out herself
Yes.
and get experience, because
I usually do pretty good. It just takes me longer.
as soon as it clicks for you, or as soon as you understand it from your perspective or your angle,
It's gonna click.
yeah,
It's gonna happen.
So
Yeah.
And I can get my spares.
yeah,
She's a heck of a spare shooter.
90%.
That is one thing about Angels. I'll let her shoot my spares all day.
I know. I want to do one of those like Scotch double things or whatever.
There's one coming up at Mission.
this is a really good. I like
I
this.
did see that, but
Steve
I think the
G.
weekend was bad or something.
Have you seen the dark code at box finish struggle with wet dry? Anything polished is going to naturally struggle with wet dry a little bit, but the dark code is a strong enough formula that
Did you
it
want any of
blends
those
it.
next?
That's up to Luke.
Yeah, we can do that hazy IPA or whatever.
You want this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put the
Yeah.
other back in the fridge.
You'll
just
have
so
to
I
get some
know.
more chips then.
Yes, I will.
So the cover formula is strong enough that it's going to blend wet dry a hell of a lot better than like a UC2. They can
Was
kind
the
of
sour okay?
read.
It was not bad.
Yeah, because it's more like a margarita beer or something.
I agree 100%.
Oh, that's that one.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Mhm.
Sorry.
So the formula is strong enough. Something like a parallax as well. It's a hybrid, but again, that doesn't really. The dark code and the parallax
Yep.
are somewhat familiar. The dark code's a little bit sharper because NEX is a little bit sharper, and because it's got that little bit of R2S pearl in it. But the parallax is a shiny ball that is also really smooth because of the formula. The high road is a lot sharper than a parallax, but it's formula differences. The parallax is getting traction and reading the lane a whole lot earlier than the high road is, partially because of the core, partially because of the cover stock formula. So you have to learn how all these things work together, blend together, affect each other, and it's experience. Okay, can you explain wet dry? Yes.
Over under?
Yes, wet dry, over under, it's basically the same thing, meaning that,
Spotty down lane.
yeah, it's meaning that you either get skid or you get hook, or you get strong response, or you get a ball that just kind of seems to spin and not really do
You
anything.
can also bring it back to what your thing can do to a lane.
Yeah, wet dry is kind of like there's a lot of friction next to a lot of oil, or next to a lot of skid. So it's one of those things where if you get the ball in a little bit, it just kind of sits there and skids. Or on a sport pattern, if you get it in a little bit, it stops and hooks. If you get it out a little bit, it just kind of goes forever. That's kind of wet dry. So
if you're right-handed, you kind of when you get that wet dry, you kind of usually want to move right. If you're left-handed, you usually want to move left. Is that correct? Just a little bit. Just make subtle moves, because especially if you got urethane going down the lane, which creates over/under wet dry.
Yeah,
especially on house.
And I love the way that you put that too. It says, excuse our ignorance. Ignorance is not a bad word.
No, not at all.
Ignorance just simply means not knowing something. There's a big difference. People use ignorance to mean stupidity.
Yeah, I'm being stupid, basically. Yeah, you're not stupid at all. It's
stupid is the inability to understand or comprehend something. Ignorance is simply not having the information. There's nothing wrong with being ignorant.
Dumb
There's nothing.
Would probably be more you're ignoring all of the facts.
Yeah.
You're just doing whatever you want.
Where's my 100 tag?
Yeah, willful
Yes.
ignorance is a different story. It's where you're intentionally being dumb or intentionally, ignoring information.
Ready for this one?
Ignorance is just go for it. Ignorance is just simply not knowing something.
gadget arms.
So there's nothing wrong with that.
I didn't know what
The next
over and
one.
under meant until I realized
We're
it was
splitting.
just a shortened
There we go.
version of overhook, underhook, or over this, over
Yeah.
that.
Over
Once
under.
I actually heard it say in the you used it
Yeah.
in all of the words, not just a shortened version.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, that's what that means.
Yeah, over under, wet dry, it's all the same thing, meaning that it's basically too sensitive.
You see a lot of over under on house shots.
Yeah.
Over under is house shots is where you see most of your over under.
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Your IQ Tour Solid?
Urethane.
Yeah.
Yep.
The first time I used that was that cheetah thing, though.
Is this me or is that just?
Sheeta, Charmeleon. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. It doesn't matter.
I'm just trying to eyeball it.
I don't care.
I know. I like to even us out.
Mm-hmm.
We have more. It's okay.
Did you hear that we grabbed the same beer that you guys grabbed?
No, I didn't hear that.
The Locomotion Stout.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I showed up with that. Great minds think alike.
Mm-hmm. Sweet.
I didn't get the opiate.
Hazio IPA.
It's pretty funny though. Like I showed up like, oh, Amanda grabbed me a beer to try. It's a Locomotion
Mhm.
Stout, and he's like, that's funny. What do we got here? Let's see. Have you seen it? You saw that?
Yep.
The latest
Ah.
DJ and Simon.
So to be clear, yeah. So to be clear,
Sport patterns. What about them?
do I use urethane and reactive resin in tandem at nationals, or just use one or the other? It really depends, because we've got 2 years ago when we went to nationals, we went to a team practice session, and so on one lane, yeah, I'm gonna need some of that now, I think.
With my hair, about that.
Oh yeah,
Who doesn't like Frito?
it's so good. Yeah, I know.
I'm the Frito Bandito. Sorry.
Corn nuts. Corn nuts are amazing.
Go ahead, finish what you're saying, because he's also
Anyway,
got another good question
yeah.
here. Because we're firing off questions from.
So we went to the team practice session, and we had one strategy on one lane and one strategy on the other lane, and we were going to test out which worked better.
Oh.
We were going to burn the track on one lane, and then we were going to throw urethane up like 13, 14, 15
Yep.
and try to build a shim.
Yep.
Ended up overwhelmingly that burning a track worked out the best in the practice session.
Right.
However, we got to team, and then everybody ended up using urethane because the burning helped.
Did you guys decide on that as a team to go to your thing?
No, it just everybody kind of migrated that direction.
Yeah.
And the only people that weren't using urethane were the people that didn't bring urethane.
Why would you not go to nationals and not bring your thing?
I had a pin down on Q-Tour Solid. I didn't have
Okay,
urethane.
you're okay then.
I didn't have urethane.
Was that on the right side? That was on the right
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
On the right side 2 years ago, I did not bring urethane.
Wet dry men on sport patterns. You can get wet dry
Brian
on sport
equals
patterns.
Ilpad.
Hi, Ilpad. Yes, I'm
Ilpad's
still.
the dude.
Yes, I'm still short.
I heard you talking about it earlier, but what is the difference in NEX and REX? NEX is an evolution of NRG, and REX is R2S blended with NEX. But where they've got it on the cover stock formula chart, NEX is the strongest cover they currently make. Traction X7, which is on the Parallax and Parallax Effect, is second. REX is third, right underneath there. Now, if you go to find R2S, it's in the bottom third of their strengths. We go all the way, yeah, we go all the way through the GI formulas, ERG, NRG, NRG2, 3, whatever else. You go all the way down the line to R2S, which is in the bottom third of their strengths. NEX or REX is the third strongest cover they make. So that tells me,
which is a new cover, right?
Yes, a new cover specifically for the dark code, which tells me that it's like 90% NEX and like 10% R2S. Just based on their own internal ranking, plus what I'm feeling throwing the ball versus R2S covers.
So I have a good question for you. Do you see them putting REX on a solid here soon?
I think that because Belmo has teased this, even though he wasn't supposed to.
It was an accident.
There's another Belmo ball coming out. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be REX hybrid or REX solid.
There's actually a video of him
throwing it, yeah.
In Australia when he was on TV doing a news interview.
Yep.
And he was throwing it 100% because I've never seen that ball before.
Yes, polish does not blend wet dry.
Wet dry will also, you can still get wet dry on sport patterns, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Wet
dry basically explains sport patterns.
100%, but you're going to see more over under on house shots than you will on sport patterns. Though.
Yeah, polish is not going to blend wet dry the vast majority of the time unless it's on an already blendy cover or an already blendy ball.
Yep. True that. Usually you're going to want to go into something solid when you start experiencing over-under, just because it's going to be smoother and allow you to keep everything in front of you, wouldn't you say?
Mhm.
You just kind of move right, left, on your...
So REX will be as close to a nano pearl, pretty much, because, well, the thing about NEX is it's NRG with extra friction response.
Yep.
I don't know how the Axiom proton physics Axiom Pearl are as strong as they are and as responsive as they are.
Right.
So what REX did was they took the strength of NEX and added extra friction response. So the dark code, you don't lose a whole lot of the strength of NEX, but you add friction response from that really clean, really responsive cover of R2S. So
Doesn't necessarily have to be a solid. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, just slow, yeah.
slower with some service,
Uh-huh.
100%.
yeah, solid, because the Omega Crux is a pearl, but it's really slow and really smooth.
I will usually get into something solid at that
Mhm.
point, a solid piece for me. Just with my game, it wouldn't be. I don't carry a whole. Honestly, the only time I really hit the surface with stuff is I'm going to a Tour KC or something like that where it's a sport
Mhm.
pattern. Other than that, I lane shine pretty much everything. So give me the solid stuff all day, like a ripcord. A ripcord
Yeah.
would be something when I see like one or a flight, ripcord flight. When
I love
see,
shiny, solid
Yeah.
stuff.
Yep.
So I'm really
like my
looking
ghost,
at, yeah.
like shined up.
I'm staring at my Marvel Max Impact, which is polished NEX solid on the Marvel core, or the original Centripetal core.
Mhm.
And the Badger Pink Fury, which is a polished solid.
Is it really?
Yeah. But I really like the ProMotion Lane Shine. I like the Idol Pro Lane Shine. I love lane shine solids, period. So
Oh, me too. And I will. Only time I'll ever hit them with anything is if like we're gonna hit something with a lot of volume, and then I'll hit
Mhm.
something with it. But it shines back up real quick.
yeah.
It's just a quick hand right before we start.
Mhm.
Yep.
So.
Pink Fury, great stream.
Yeah. Yep. Angel always loves when I say that about her.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate words of wisdom, sincerely.
Angel is her real
Bro,
name. It's not her stripper name.
Do we?
Her stripper name is Destiny.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Do we
What?
miss any questions?
What?
We were talking about stripper names, and it just came up.
Destiny.
Must be your destiny to get smacked.
Bam! That shot sort of put a force field.
Yeah.
Don't include me. I didn't do it. Let's make sure we miss anything. Got any more questions while we're finishing up beers here? We got our topic in today though, which is nice.
Yeah. I think this
So you
actually
talked
worked
about
out really
different
well.
Layouts and stuff. Usually, the conversation comes up, or question comes up of what's in your bags.
Yeah.
Ah,
That's going to have to be a separate topic, so I might have
so.
to do that later. But
No, just to wrap up what currently is in your bag. Just tell everybody.
yeah, there you go.
So just a shortened version, and maybe you can pick it up the next time, like you're.
So yeah, I've got
Yeah,
a.
what do you carry on Thursday nights?
I have really tightened up my bag because when you drill a lot of bowling balls, you want to throw everything. You get attached to the specific bowling balls. You want to. It's like, well, I haven't thrown that ball in a while. I just want to go throw it.
Yep.
Whether or not it makes any sense. And then I got to a point where I really tightened things up and said, you know what? I've just got to score. I've just got to bring the stuff that works. I got to bring the stuff that scores, whatever else.
My pin down balls flare significantly more than pin up balls. Why would this be? Because pin down's going to be earlier?
Pin down is going to be earlier,
Yep.
but pin down stuff should flare less because you're raising the RG and lowering the differential. So it would have to be the way that you're actually throwing the ball.
No one can answer this. We said
Yeah, that would be pretty tough to.
that's a tough answer because pin down stuff you should flare less.
Yeah, because if you look at it, it raises the RG and lowers the differential. So lowering the differential should create less flare.
She just made a great point, by the way. She's what she just put in could lead in. So when we finish up, let's do what's in our bags currently, because I think next week a great topic would be how to pick what balls to pick when you're going to hit a tournament or something like that.
Yeah, after doing all the basics and
Yeah.
stuff.
I think that's a great idea, don't you?
Yeah, so we can use that to segue into
Just call it equipment pick or equipment choices or something like that.
Mhm.
That's a great way.
We can talk about all kinds of equipment choices and what's in the bag and all kinds of stuff next week.
Yeah,
So,
come hang out with us next Sunday. That'll be a good one on
Mhm.
Father's Day. Good old Father's Day. Maybe I'll have my little one here. She'll sit right here in my lap.
Yep.
We don't have a 2-pound gummy bear though.
Mhm.
Thanks, guys. I'm a low speed bowler. I'll let you know how it went when I get back in case there are any folks there like that. Need intel. Cheers. Absolutely, Douglas. I'm same way, man. I'm a low rev, low speed guy. I'm probably what, 350 if I hit it.
Yep. 325, 350.
350. I throw it around 13, 14 mile an hour. So
Yeah. You and Angel actually have pretty similar.
pretty close. Yep. I'll probably throw it a little bit harder. But
Amanda, Derek Yeater,
Team Yeet.
Yeater Parker.
And then you have my wife who just
Yeah.
yeets on it. We were saying that when she was swinging the golf club yesterday.
Oh,
Yeet.
yeah.
That's awesome. Surprised she didn't just chuck the golf club at you.
Did you see the Snapchat where she swung and hit it? Like,
Uh-huh.
that was funny. She was hammered.
We
She
need
doesn't
to go
get like that
golfing
very much.
Every,
Funny when she gets like that.
every single weekend is bowling. We need to go golfing.
We do need to go
Next
golfing.
weekend, I was asking about the weather for that reason.
Hot.
Alone.
Really hot. I can tell you right now.
Well, if we get a tee time at 7 a.m. up at Village Greens, it'll be just fine.
Friday, 97. Saturday, only 90. But if we can play in the morning, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Dogs can't
Huh?
bet.
That's fine.
In the
Figure out
Unless
something
you're going to
what's next Sunday? There's nothing going on the whole weekend.
Father's Day.
Huh?
It's going to be packed.
Not if we get a tee time at 7 a.m.
And then come back and stream.
Yeah.
I'd do that.
Uh-huh.
I'd play golf.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I don't care.
Thanks, guys. I'm a full roller. Low rev. Did I already see that? Yeah, we saw that one. I just did a Crux Prime Phase 2. Extreme air rolls in.
Ill pad.
Weird to see him, Ryan.
Yeah, James told me I'm drilling a promotion too. Yeah, it's taken me 1.5 years, 2 years to work on James, and he's finally getting there. I can say that he's finally waking up. He's finally seeing the light. He's finally understanding.
I tried to tell him to bring an insight to Kansas City. So did Angel a couple weeks ago, and he just didn't listen to us. You take 7 balls to league. I take 6, actually, with 1 being a spare. We're actually going to lead into that before we leave. We each want to do what's in the bag. For let's say last Thursday, what did we take? So I don't know if you're ready to get there yet or what you're ready to
I
do.
took a promotion, Idle Pro, Dark Code, UFO Alert, Idle Synergy, and a Phase Grip.
Oh, that's right. You did have the grip. That's right. I remember watching you do that.
And that's what I practiced with. And that's what I looked really good with because the grip looked terrible while I was bowling league. And so I had to put it away and throw something else. And then the grip looked amazing in practice once I finally figured out to make shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason to take any more balls to league, but like I was explaining that PBA bowler or professional bowlers bowl at different centers on different conditions, on transition, longer blocks, whatever else. And so the bowling makes itself interesting or exciting. For league bowlers make it different or interesting and exciting because the same house, same pattern, week to week to week, you make it interesting or exciting with different bowling balls.
Yep.
That's the only way that you can really inject any kind of different kind of
Not me. I'll just throw it scores.
anything. Yeah, Idle Synergy is ridiculous.
Well,
I need more of those.
As I say, there's some nights, even like when we were bowling our Friday mix league, you might get a couple of the females that throw up the middle backup ball.
I know.
So
Yeah.
Which creates over under.
Yeah.
So you almost, with you bowl certain leagues like that, you almost have to see who you're bowling. What end of the house you're bowling on, maybe you swap out a ball or two because of that.
And pair to pair makes a difference.
Mhm.
Yes.
Pair to pair makes a difference. So for me, in my bag, actually it's this way until I get the flight. Every week at Royal Crest is a Jekyll Ghost, a Venom Shock, of course.
Yeah. A motive guy throwing a Venom Shock. Oh my God. I need to drill a high road, by the way.
Jekyll Ghost, Venom Shock. I usually bring a Ripcord Flight, spare ball. I always have a flash in my bag, and I take a fatal venom. So.
Yeah.
Did you say
So-
legacy? Did you have a legacy?
I did have and the legacy. Yep, I did have the legacy with me this week.
Okay.
The legacy is another one on the motive side. You got to carry.
Yeah.
It's
And
just
you've talked about mixing in the forged fire.
Yep, Forge Fire needs to get some look. It actually did not look bad that one night
Yeah.
in practice. It's just one of I need to look at it some more.
I was
If the
saying, you
league
talked about
house-
just like switching out for one ball,
No.
not necessarily making it.
Yeah, he
every
take
just-
Jackal Ghost is the number one. That always goes.
Luke will
there.
tell you that ball is
Yeah.
Royal Crest goes next.
If it's a league house, I can't justify 7 balls personally. I can't justify 6, let alone 7 or 8 or anything else. But I take them because I want to.
I'm glad you said that because I need to bring a Forge Fire this week. Sorry, Luke.
Realistically, I can take a phase grip and the dark code and a promotion, and the promotion is just really my spare ball. So if I take the 3 of those, I don't need to take anything else.
Ghost
But I
and the
do
goat combo.
because it's fun.
Ghost and the Goat combo, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did get my blitz in yesterday. It
I
finally
saw that.
showed up.
I saw that.
Riley and I showed up the exact same day. I think it's great. So it's just gonna sit there, and I'm just gonna look at it like I want to put holes in you, but I can't.
You should wait because once you do,
Um,
then you're going to want to try and find another one to
I know.
stash.
Primal Rage.
I know, right? I actually somebody offered me a Primal LE yesterday.
The Primal Rage is a different story.
The Venom Toxin.
Covert Revolt, Sigma Tour, Original Tribal.
Anything with the Sigma
Was the
core.
best lineup
This
I've ever
original
had.
Sigma
tribal
Corps.
was that silver
Yeah.
one with the red label.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Tribal.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to remember what they look like.
A Covert Revolt. Somebody knows
too,
the link to
Too
them.
Cruel. Yeah.
The Covert Revolt. I'm even willing to possibly trade
Uh,
something for it.
Do a 2-for-1.
Possibly.
So,
I
Covert Revolt.
It's got a ghost cover on it.
Imagine the Jackal
It's
Ghost,
Yeah.
but longer and flippier.
That's
That's
why-
the Covert Revolt.
That's why the assassin doesn't want to get drilled because it's got the ghost cover.
Mhm.
So,
Mm.
but I just got one from Riley. So.
No, that's
James just sent me something. Okay, transition management out of the promotion is going to be tricky. Yes.
I'm both the guy who brings 9, averages 194.
Oh my God.
I average 234 with 2. There's no way if you're reading.
I bring 6,
Yeah.
and the 2 of them get rotated in and out.
Think the Zen Master will be good? Yeah, it's. I try to rotate, but I especially like on Thursdays, I just bring what I know is going to score.
I always bring one R2S of some kind.
Yeah.
And I rotate usually between 3, either the Trend, the Emerald, or the Teal 30.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
See, I need to
crunch.
throw some stuff this summer
Mhm.
out
And then
there,
I have
but I want to
my-
win.
the Teal Badger,
The teal, yeah.
Yeah.
the UFO
We are
Alert.
still 10-2.
Revolt Havoc
I
is
will
still
have you
balling
know.
up to this
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
I have no idea what to think about the Zen Master yet. I think it's going to be earlier and smoother
Same core, right?
than the Zen. Yeah, same core. Solid versus a Pearl.
It's gonna be a reality basically. Isn't it?
Yeah, it's the same. It's a reality
Yeah.
ish that's not asymmetric.
I don't think it's gonna touch the Zen. I really don't.
Probably not because earlier and smoother.
It
So
could end up
Revolt
being
was the
kind of
black
like
one?
the,
Oh, yes. yes, we're going to show that comment.
Yeah. Covert Revolt was the black one. Yes. I need one of those in my life.
And Neil Cooley definitely agrees with you.
Yeah, 100%. It's everything. Oh,
Dead.
hashtag Motive Monday.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised when I all of a sudden go downstairs and all of the internet fails.
Well,
Yeah.
it's because of his Motive Monday post.
Mhm.
I didn't see it. I don't want to know.
It's
The Covert Revolt, yeah.
just read
Covert
the
Revolt
comment. Everything he says is
was ridiculous.
I-
Back before I signed with Storm, my bag everywhere, Nationals, League, whatever else, all I needed was a Covert Revolt, a Sigma Tour, and the Tribal. That's all I needed everywhere.
Which one's the one that Mark just got? Did you see the one he drilled, the red one?
Uh-uh.
It's like a primal. It might be the primal.
Might be the Primal Rage.
I think it was the
OG
Rage.
Rage,
If it
yeah,
had
the Rage
green
is.
labels,
I'm looking.
The Primal Rage was nasty too.
He also got a tribal. One of the tribals.
Tribal
one-
Fire.
One of the Raptors.
Tribal fire. That
Tribal
was it.
Fire.
There was a tribal fire.
And I
Blank.
was going
200 flat. He got that for.
The
I was
only
going
motor
the
ball
storm
I ever
direction.
wanted was the Raptor.
You mean you don't want the teal one? Angelo says, throw the teal one.
Charting my last 3 years at News.
The Raptor, I know, right?
Yeah, I know the logo that's on it, and I know the color, and I'm like, that thing.
You talking about the newer one?
Yeah.
That's basically the VIP Affliction.
So yeah, Nationals, I'm taking 9 balls too, but we're
It's
driving.
got a different cover, but it's the
So I'm
same
going
core.
to take 8 balls into team, and I'm going to swap 1 ball out for singles and doubles. It's going to be I'll take the pitch black into team, but I won't take it.
It's going to be urethane
double and
fest.
singles.
Urethane.
So
I would probably throw urethane if I was going.
yeah.
Tank Blitz would probably get drilled if I was going this year. I haven't been to Nationals in a few years. Maybe I need to hop on with you guys.
Yeah, depending on, because we got 10 right now, but there was a lot of mix up between the last time that we bowled too. So anyhow, yeah, Cobra Revolt was stupid. I mean, it's still my 3rd favorite, I think, of all time.
I don't think Riley's with us, is he? If
Promotion,
Riley's got a couple.
Taboo, Cobra Revolt, and it probably should be higher than that realistically, but the Primal Rage was stupid.
Would you
Primal Rage and Cobra Revolt
better than the Revolt?
Huh?
No.
No, the Primal Rage is right there. The Cobra Revolt is one of the best balls ever, period. Any company, anything ever, period. But
Jake Peters resurrected his career with that ball.
Yeah, the Primal Rage was stupid.
Which one? Was it are you talking about the Revolt or the Primal Rage? Sorry,
the Primal Rage, because I remember Jake Peters winning with a Primal Rage.
Opinion on Motive VIP. Can I answer that real quick, Gary? Are you still with me? If you are you talking about the Affliction? I'm assuming you are. If you're talking about the Affliction, it has the core and the Raptor. That is an overseas piece, and the core is amazing. The ball's so mine is pinned down. It's actually got a pretty strong pin down drill, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And that thing is just Luke will tell you that thing looks amazing. It's really good. You can check out my YouTube video if you want to see it on my page.
Yep. As Angel said,
search my name, Jonathan Hawes, on YouTube. You can see it.
Join the Discord to keep the convo going. It's free. Just need an email. Yep.
Come hang out with us.
There's plenty of member channels too. That's only $5 a month, but the Discord, the Discord is free. So if you want to just get in the free general chat, that's perfectly fine.
So we were 9th in team and it threw it all over the building. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? Yeah. 1850 using 2 balls, wasn't sharp. 9th in team, threw it all over the building.
You're gonna cash.
That's in pretty good. I mean, that's pretty good shape. So
I mean, yeah, you may not have a great day, but that's what team plays for.
Yeah.
Who cares?
All right. So we're going to go ahead and shut it off. Next week, we're going to talk about arsenal building and kind of putting everything together. So this was a pretty good stream.
What's in the bag?
Yep. So we're going to talk about our, Cobra Revolt and Primal Rage are Mount Rushmore type balls. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So thanks everybody for hanging out. We'll have more stuff. We'll have more drinks, and we'll have more all kinds of stuff next week. So yeah. If you like theory crafting, ball motion, and proper application, Discord is one of the best sources of data you will find.
100%.
We have a bunch of super intelligent people in there, both on the general side and in the paid side. I don't really do anything on Patreon. You pay for Patreon to get into the Discord side. But I don't think I've posted anything in a month and a half. Patreon sucks.
It is fun on the other side of it, though.
But yeah, the members only side there's a whole bunch more stuff that goes on way past the free side of stuff. So thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it. We're going to come back with some, we'll probably have some nationals practice at some point next weekend.
Yeah.
And then we'll have another one of these where we'll talk about bag stuff and bag building and whatever else. So make sure you watch the whole thing of this one, because it was a pretty good stream, pretty informative.
Longer than normal, but we had a good time just hanging out. So.
Yeah. And there was beer, and now I need food. So.
And scotch.
Yeah. Definitely scotch.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out, Raj. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Raj, especially when somebody wakes up from in the middle of the night or whatever else to catch one of these streams live. That's really cool.
Come
so
spend some time with us.
Yeah,
you never know what we'll get into.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it. So thanks, y'all. We'll see you later.
All right.
Kapow. Kelly Kapowski.